I'm sorry, I got that. I know the God will give you a little bit more on that, but we ask Allah Justice to come in and do that. Because again, man, we had one lawsuit. Went over a few hurdles. They won the suit to a degree where they sat down with all the heads of state, New York State corrections, the guards, and so this particular presentation is what it is that they actually inform them of, what it is that we teach. So I'll let Allah Justice pick up from there. Peace.
Peace, God.
Peace.
Mm-hmm. Do me a favor, everybody try to put their phone on silence.
Yeah.
Go through that.
I come to you, give up your name.
There you go. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to start out with just a brief history, as the guard of Allah Shah was saying. In 2003, the guards went to court on a case.
So you're getting caught right now. 1 second.
Pardon, sir.
Arabic?
No.
Spanish.
Anyway, in 2003, the guards, while I was in the penal institution, I had just been home 2 years about that time. But the guard, powerful ruler nation, intelligent Tariq, quite a few other guards that was in the penal institution, put together a case in the court where we can fight for our rights as the nation of gods and earth under culture, not
Spiritual.
not religion. Even though, and I have to explain that to a lot of people, because remember, we in the penal institution, even out here, but in the penal institution, their directives only deal with religion, because they never had anybody like us that comes and say culture. Other than Relupa, which was the case that allowed us to get in the same way that the Indians did.
Yeah.
So the Relupa deals with the religious land and institutional use, program. So that's what that is. And what Relupa did with the Indians, because they don't teach it as a religion, they teach their way of life as a culture, a way of life. So under that guise, they allowed them in. So we used the same case, and it allowed us to get in too. But we had to show and prove that, that God or Allah was the center of our being also. And we had to show our dietary laws, how we live this, how our children is named behind it. So we showed, the history behind how we live, how this is a culture, not a religion. Now, to this point, when we were trying to get in, we called Albany, we touched base with them, they got back in touch with us. We was under the Natural Office of Cultural Affairs at the time. But because Natural Office of Cultural Affairs was originally in Mecca, it moved to Woodbourne King to North Carolina. Me and him built, and being that we in Mecca, we chose to part ways with that, and we are there with Mecca alone, because Mecca was where it started at. This is the root where it all started at. As a result of Mecca opening the doors for it, we have now 16 other states that agree with the case that Mecca set a precedent for. So what I'm doing now is because a lot of guards have been writing the school in Mecca and stating that even though we've got those rights to have classes, parliaments, have our flags, have our lessons, a lot of prisons are not allowed, wasn't allowing the guards to get everything necessary that in the decision stated that we could have. So what they needed is an office out here in Mecca, or coming from from New York City, that show that, there's a reality about this here. Because a lot of people upstate, whether they're staff members, they're misled about what this nation is about. They try to lump us up. When we was up there, Lord Shaw, born black, quite a few of us was upstate, We used to have to go under the NOI because we didn't have our own area to go. We had to go under the Morris Temple because we didn't have that. But Reluca opened up the door for us to have our own classes under the nation of gods and earth. Okay, so from that point, I put together a team here in Mecca, and that team in Mecca is now known as a law school in Mecca, Office of Institutional and Cultural Management.
What's happening, guys?
As I said, it originally started out as a prison idea, but I built with certain guards in the nation. And cultural management not only extends to the prison, but it extends out here also to different issues that may take place within our nation. A good example, for one, is the individual that we call Born Mastermind. So one of our areas we went at him because how he was coming at us, you know, trying to make us tribal division of a nation. You know, we are a nation in fact. That was one of the issues we dealt with out here, okay? But going back to the prison, we dealt with Ms. Fernandez, who was the assistant director of programs up in Albany, okay? And at the time we first went upstate to meet her, we sat down, and a lot of things that I asked them about as far as what do they know about this nation, they gave me a pamphlet similar to this. But what was in it, they got from different brothers in the penal institution. And it was nothing but confusion. Nothing but confusion. Okay, so they didn't really come to the right people to actually, you know, do that. So I said, it's best coming from here. Mecca, this is the root where it all started. So we'll bring that information from Mecca back to the prison system. That first meeting was in May. It was fruitful, you know. So now what it is, they gave us a second meeting. I wanted them to come to a law school so that they can actually see the reality of what we do. You know, that this is a nation in fact, not a nation in theory or whatever they thought. So we had a meeting with them last Monday. They came to the school. She's no longer the assistant director of program. She is now the director of ministerial services for in Albany. So she makes all the decisions for programs and all that is concerned. And she loved the program. We put together a facilitator's manual. And before I go into the actual PowerPoint presentation, because there was a question that was asked concerning, please God, that was concerning the facilitator's manual. And before I go into that, we was defining what a facilitator is in the penal institution. And the reason why we have to do that is because they have directives. For anybody that don't know, you know, in the penal institution, they have directives that we have to go under. Okay, 4202 deals with religion, and it, you know, goes into that. You know, they have different ones. So under that particular facilitator's manual, we have to abide by their rules and what a facilitator can be. And basically with their rules basically state you have to have good behavior. You know, you couldn't have had no tickets in the last 6 months or so. You're going to school. You know, they look at all the positive and productive things. So at that first meeting, I asked them, I said, okay, I understand what you're saying, but you know, amongst the nation of gods and earth, we wouldn't be able to allow a person with a rape charge, you know, being a facilitator for the nation of gods and earth. So the question was asked to me today about that, you know, and Lord Shaw, go ahead, you can ask the question and then I'll just elaborate on it.
Okay, so based on last week's class, Justice said that, and you know, I was just drawing up in my head. So my first thought before I asked the question was, you know, a lot of us swam through death, hell, and destruction before we got the knowledge. You know, when law came, you know, into the monkey mind to teach us, man, you know, you're talking about dope fiends and hoes and pimps and murderers and whatever. Although they were young, You know, and then we ourselves, as we got older, you know, we start teaching people, man, who prior to having knowledge were people who were looked at with ill repute. So here we are now, we're at a stage where people in prison. So you have a person, you cut the chase, that has, he or her, that has a rape charge. Of course, we frowned on that. So they got their life together and say, and they designate and point out of all the ways of life, I want that way of life. So they want to get the knowledge and very well may excel to the point of wanting to facilitate a class. So my question is, do we deny this person the right to facilitate a class based upon their criminal background, right? Because that was a crime, you know, as crazy as it looked, right? You know, yeah, do we do that, right? Because there's other implications involved also when we do that. But I mean, my question is, do we do that? You know, okay, the person, I'm like, this person had murder, this person was a drug dealer, this person was that. But then we get to this person down the road, I'm gonna keep pointing fingers, you know. Okay, yeah, I had a rape charge, you know. I no longer do that. This is where I'm at in my life. You know, my record has reflected I'm doing that. You know what I mean? I want to get my life together. I don't want to be a Christian or Muslim or more, whatever. You know, because of your teaching, I want to be, you know, Nation of God. I'm going to be a 5%. He very well gets this knowledge, but then now he wants to go on, he or she, to become facilitated. So my question is, do we deny this person based upon that? That's just my view on that.
That's a good question. Lawyer Justice?
Yeah.
I want to say something else too. How about a pedophile?
Same.
You're talking about a rape,
Okay.
but how about a pedophile? See, the thing about it is that most people that, like, you got domestic violence,
Mm-hmm.
and you got a lot of people that's accused of stuff, and you got a lot of people that do stuff, right? If the courts bring somebody and they could prove that they have done either or, then they're in court. And they're in court and they're arrested and they're sent up. Most of them don't tell on themselves. The guards say, oh, he in here for this or he in here for that. So they come in with a record of that, right? And what most of them do is they say, well, how many records you got of that? You know what I'm saying? Because most
their history, you mean?
Yeah, they got a history of being like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that that's just enough cause to say, you know, hell, no, you can't step across that line. You see, because a lot of brothers come up for us in this school, we don't know what their history is. We don't know how they are. And then later on, we be hearing bits and pieces of how they was when they was 85%. You know, we got brothers right now that we tell don't come around us because they did A, B, or C. You know, and it's known that they did it. And some say, well, I was accused of it, but I didn't do it. And they hang around with brothers. But the thing about it is at the courts, if you say you're a facilitator and you go in there under that rule and regulations that they have, and they find out that you do have a case like that, you might be going against their rules and regulations, not so much, it's not against theirs?
That's not how it goes.
Okay.
In the prison system, like I said, if once they got in there, they came in there with a rape charge or a pedophile charge.
Pardon
They
me.
do.
I just want to ask you to that fact. Are you speaking about facilitators that are still incarcerated or facilitators
No,
that
that's
are out?
we're talking about internal facilitators. Okay, I'm gonna get into what we're doing with them. But what we decided is, and I'm glad Allah Shah brought it up, because that was one of the sticking points with Albany and with us, with the concept of facilitator, because they would take a person who was there for a pedophile and make him a facilitator. As long as he was in jail, he was doing good, he went and got his education together, and he's programming. So it didn't matter what background he had, they would use him because he's fitting the criteria of that directive. And I asked him, I said, well, in our nation, like what Umar, like we know, if a brother did that, we exile them. They do not come amongst us. So with a person, now we're looking at people, we're going in to teach, you know, and as the God said, a lot of us came from crazy backgrounds, you know, and we didn't have knowledge of ourselves at the time. So the difference is, if you went in there without the knowledge of self, and you start, you know, getting yourself together, the classes that you come to, because I tell them, we don't only teach 120 classes or the history of this nation, we also teach life skills. Because a lot of guards that came home, he mentioned, he was just building about that, when they came home, they didn't have a direction in which to go to, you know, because they walked the yard talking about the same things that they talked about for the last 10 years. They never focused on any type of growth and development. And a lot of times, there's not too many brothers in there that's really helping them. So under the 5% Nation of Guards on Earth, we're going to teach 120, but at the same time, we're going to teach life skills. Look, this is what you need to know when you're coming home. You may go into the shelter, and at this point, I think it's over 50% of guards or brothers that's coming out of the penal institution that don't have family background. So they go directly into a shelter system. We need to build with them about all that and try to set up things for them. So when they come out, because when they come out, this world is moving, it's constantly moving. And they need to move with it or they're gonna get left behind. So we trying to build with them so that to prepare them so that when they do come out, at least they have a footage. We know the first things you definitely need when you come out here, food, clothing, and shelter. Basic necessities. And if you could get that once you touch down, then there's a lot of other things you can do on your own. But I can't build with you in this class now if you just came home, you ain't got nowhere to live. And you ain't got no money in your pocket to eat. You ain't thinking about what I'm saying. You trying to get all those basic necessities first. So yes, we going in there with a lot of mathematics. That's the foundation of this whole thing. That's what opened the door for us to get in there. So yes, we going in with that. But the question to that is that if a person came in with that kind of background and he starts to show all the, the progressive signs that he's doing better, he want to do good, then I'm not going to hold that against him because you're only responsible for what you know. No. So if he didn't know that before, and now he's getting all this knowledge from us and knowing that that's not the right way to go because we civilizers. So we taking brothers that were uncivilized and civilize them. These are the things they never saw before. Even with us, a lot of things that we never saw before until we got knowledge of self. That's what perfected us. That's what made us better. We stopped eating pork. We stopped doing, all the things that we never had knowledge of before. So if you came, now there's the difference is if you knew it and you was out here and you coming amongst us and then you going around doing that nonsense, you are responsible for what you know. So if you came into jail and you had knowledge like that, now cipher. I wouldn't deal with that person.
Last, I don't want to just continue. I know there's other things we have to cover here. But, so I brought it up. Because we all need, because counseling. Like God Umar said, man, even out here, you got people that suffering from mental health, all kinds of addictions and stuff like that, with the knowledge themselves. But now when you have, I think with something as sensitive as that particular crime, there are issues that we might be able to include, like, okay, counseling. Mm-hmm. Like, God, look, you may need some further counseling, man, because, again, you're talking about, like, social equality. You're engaging with people. So, you want to make sure that, you have all the tools intact, man, where that doesn't resurface or whatever. Lastly, I conclude because if we, because we've sword fighting and denied people because they denied themselves. I mean, these people with the knowledge. When we discovered later that, you actually are engaged with that, then that's something different. You know what I mean? But if we deny them that becomes a legal issue also. That can become a legal issue. You know what I mean? Because you legally
and that's what she said. Right. She said that to us. Right. We can't do that because now we're getting in the area of legalities. Right. She mentioned that when I said no, we don't want to do that. So that particular science will be judged on a case-to-case basis.
Right. Okay. Okay. That yes. You said a mouthful just with that case-to-case. There you go.
And then we can we have to remember, we got to keep in mind what their directors say, so we trying to
it
mesh
feels
everything
right,
together. Okay, so for that part, and I just wanted to read to y'all. You have the facilitator's manual?
The facilitator's manual.
I just want to look at the part where we define the facilitator, because in the new one, not the old one.
Okay, all right.
Because this is what the old one said, and I want to speak to it because we had to change it. Like we building on it now, we see different things, we perfect it. Okay, who's perfect in our midst but Allah. So that means we come together to make it perfect. The definition of a facilitator for the nation of gods and earth. A facilitator for the nation of gods and earth has to be a God or earth who knowledge 120 lessons. One cannot be a facilitator if he or she can't lead and teach the service or classes or civilization classes without knowing their lessons, which requires that they know supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet, student enrollment, English C lesson, 1 to 36, 1 to 14, 1 to 40. Actual facts, solar facts. Also essential that the facilitator knows the law's history, most importantly, how to show and prove their lessons. That was the original one. But then after we built on it, we had to change some things, because remember, we dealing with Department of Corrections. And there might not always be a person that know 120 degrees. So I don't want to give them anything to say, oh, y'all don't have nobody in this class that's teaching 120? Okay, y'all got to go back to your dorm. There's nobody here qualified to teach that. Okay. So we had to, you understand?
Yeah, I got you.
Because we're dealing with people, I don't want to use the term, but we're dealing with people who, are completely in opposition to our bill. So I have to think about how they may come at us. So in order to alleviate that, we changed it, the wording of that, because they even had a little issue with that. Okay, you have the new one?
I don't have it, but I can Bluetooth it here and we'll have it in a minute.
That's all right, I got it on my phone. I got
You have it on
everything
your
I
phone?
need, yes I do.
Okay,
So I got it right here.
dog.
You want to do it from my phone?
Yeah, I can do it from your phone.
Can y'all see that? Everybody can see that?
I ain't got a clue.
Huh?
I'm not turning the computer on. I work the mouse. Other than that, that's it. Bluetooth.
That's
Yeah, Pete, your document got his hand about.
Yes, sir.
So is there a way to have like some type of a syllabus? You know what I'm saying? Like if you saying that they don't have all the information that's there, right? But you do have somebody there that's the best knower, where you can say, okay, this person right here, we could teach this person, and then.
You got that.
So it's.
That's what's going to happen.
All right.
What it is suppose it's just a young guard that's there that only know the student enrollment, but his behavior is proper. He's following all the rules.
Responsible for what he knows.
Then he's held responsible for what he knows.
That's it.
So I had to change that a little bit, because it might be a guard that everybody that's in the class, they may not even know the student enrollment. It might only be one that actually knows the student enrollment. So then he would have to be the one chosen to facilitate the class. Now remember, as you said, God, that's internal. That's those guards that live in the facilities. You have to have someone, they like paper pushers. They don't want to deal between our nation and the Department of Corrections. So
Yeah, we're not gonna close down the class because there's nobody in there that knows 120 lessons. We gotta keep that class going, regardless to whether you know 120 or you only know the alphabets and mathematics. Because you know what brothers and sisters had to go through to get to this point. So we're not giving that up because you don't know 120. You understand? We'll teach what we know, and then we'll get in touch with the gods and earth out here to give us the help that we need after we go to the 1 to 36. When we get to the 1 to 36, now we need some help. So that's why we're here.
That's what falls in place now.
Now that
because remember, we're getting ready to go in now. So they sent me paperwork stating for who wants to be come inside as a volunteer to be sitting in the classes and help them teach. So now it's a brother that only knows student enrollment. Darkim, you go in. you may want to go in, so you go in this week, and that week you sit and do the knowledge or part of the class and see what's going on, and then you be able to assist the young guard on how to build in certain things as far as 120 lessons is concerned. So we there to back them up. What this also does, I spoke with them to the fact that a lot of classes may have different members from different groups. I'm using the Bloods, whatever, the Net Dies, anybody. They usually take over classes and try to run the class. So with having one of us come in, that eliminates a lot of that, because we'll be able to see through that. The only one that can teach this is God. They can't teach this. So we'll be able to deal with ways and actions as well as the law of mathematics once we come in. It eliminates that. Because there are certain prisons that actually have certain individuals that move into these our classes and try to take over. So that eliminates that. Also, when we do the PowerPoint presentation, enlightening or sensitivity training, as they call it, by teaching the staff on what we're about, it also gives them an idea to look at the guards or those that come in the nation, or name of guards in our classes, and they'll be able to see the behaviors that these guards or these herbs should be exhibiting. Not that they should have to speak to it, but the manual, what we give them, as far as the PowerPoint presentation, gives them an idea that they can look back and say, that's not what they're supposed to do. But it's not on them as far as to write a ticket or anything. They would come to us about that. We have an issue.
So behavior unbecoming.
Yeah, we have an issue here. So, it puts us in a better light with them. So with the facilitator, man, we had to change what I just read to you. Press, give it to me. I can read it off of there, bro.
Okay, man.
So read it straight off of there.
So just don't have-
All right? Okay, a facilitator for the nation of gods and earth has to be a god of earth who has learned in the cultural tenets, and practices of the nation of gods and earth, and coordinates the operation and activities of the nation and gods and earth members. You see how it changes the whole thing.
Read that again, God.
Okay. A facilitator for the nation of gods and earth has to be a god or earth who is learned in the cultural tenets and practices of the nation of gods and earth, and coordinates the operation and activities of the nation and gods and earth members, and interacts with DOCS, Department of Correction.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood. what
Do
you
anybody
said, yeah.
have a,
I understand what
No, I get you. That was good. That was
That's
good.
what
I
we
get
here
you.
to
I
build.
get you.
Yeah.
We here to build on this.
Yeah.
So
No.
that's where you took out 120 and added that in
Right,
place of
and,
that.
and replace that because we don't want to limit ourselves
Selves,
as
right,
self. At least with that, it keeps the door open us to
Yeah,
do.
we
all
Yeah,
the
do
work
you,
with
do,
things.
well, do you at least understand the practice of the tenets
Yeah.
of the culture, or how to perform and operate within the facility?
And then after that part, so
Like that.
then after that, you know what I'm saying, you get the brother that's more qualified, that know.
As
like if
time
that-
goes
yeah,
on,
as
Yeah,
time goes on,
right,
yeah.
right.
Mhm. Okay, so that was the issue that we had with the Department of Correction and us. So we modified it, softened it, but it's a broader scope for us to actually go in and deal with them brothers and let them brothers be able to do what they gotta do.
Well, we didn't really soften. I wouldn't say that, God. I mean, it's just each one teaching according to their knowledge. And do you have the knowledge to operate this? I mean,
Right.
do you know, like on the days that we celebrate the show and prove in these particular days, do you know what to do?
The
Yeah,
operations
right,
of
right.
that's
Right,
why we
right,
put all
right.
that in there. Because now you've learned that by being around us.
Mhm.
And then if you and I went in, last Sean, we see, okay, what next? June, y'all having the what day is that? We doing a show and prove in June up here? Okay, let's start putting that together. We start helping the young guard, facilitating how to put all those things together.
Mm.
So that's what that's only if this is a young guard that they don't have 120. If there's a guard in there at 120, then we be focusing on who's the best, the one who has the best knowledge amongst them, and we deal with that, and also assist them in the other area that we deal with. That's the only issue that we have with the Department of Correction as far as the facilitator issue, because everything has to be under their directives. Now, I want to say this another thing to you, because in there, for the Jewish faith, they have their rabbis. In there, for the Muslims, they have their imam. He was here. He came to the head of the Muslim community. He came here.
What's his name?
Reverend Timon.
You're thinking of
Twyman. What's his name? Twyman?
Yeah.
Reverend
He been around
Twyman.
forever.
Listen, it's Reverend Twyman, and he's in charge of the lower hub, Fishkill, Sing Sing. What else he said?
The Southern Hub.
Sullivan, Greenhaven. He's in charge of that whole hub. And I said, well, that's the hub we want to start in. We don't want to go up there to Attica and no.
Not yet.
And even the director of programs stated she has a problem. She's black. Well, I think she's black, period. I ain't going to the Hispanic, she's black, okay? But anyway, she said when she go up to the Clinton hub, Wendy hub, she has a problem because you got them big red, well, I don't want to, we on cameras, but we got them, the Canadians up there, the big Canadians, and they ain't trying to, they out the color of our skin. I don't care who you are, who you run what, you black and you still need to stay in your place. So that's still, she was saying, that's still, that type of stuff still goes on. So,
the
mentality is there. So it's easier for us to go into the lower hub because you got more people that look like you and I here, and they're more sentimental towards what we dealing with. Yes, sir.
Facilitators, man.
Is that okay, I just read out, but you can put it up there so they can see it. Right there, at the top.
All right.
Is that the right one?
I think so. The latest
No,
one he sent.
that's not the right one. That's the old one. That's the first one I read to them. Because that still has 120 in there.
So we got a question out here in the room from a brother, right? He said he agrees with a lot of what we're saying. However, in the Penal system, there's a gang mentality amongst all nations once they have to acclimate to other gangs. And so I think, one of the things what you're saying is that, we understand that, and we going to take responsibility for our nation.
Yeah.
So could you speak a little more?
Well, again, I'm just
Hold on.
reiterating.
In regards, what is his question? I mean,
Or statement.
Direct with the question.
Well, he didn't really ask a question,
No,
but what he presented is an issue. Where he's saying that
we're
this
responsible for our nation.
Okay, well,
Right. That's all we saying.
That's why I said what I said a little earlier. Because I know for a fact that, like the NOI or the Morrison's Temple, even in our classes, I know for a fact from letters that I've gotten from different guards in jail that some facilities have those said nations that's in taking over the classes.
They're using our
They're
class.
using our name, our class name, but they said nations and they're doing what they want to do. And the reason is because they're not. Some of the brothers there, they're not recognized, so they can't get it. So what they try to do is bully their way into certain class atmospheres where it's weak at, and they can take over.
But we did that too, though.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that's why I can
It's a
speak.
different time.
I can speak from the history, how it go, and I spoke to the head of programs about that when she was here. She said, yeah, she agreed. So by us, me, you, Born Black, going inside on a weekly basis or every other week basis, we get to see who's there. We get to see, well, and that's not my teacher. What's your name? We get to build with them. And we get to see. So I even told her, me personally, y'all, if you in there and I know that y'all not about my nation, I ain't got a problem coming and say, listen, That's not my nation. Them people don't belong here. I don't have a problem with saying that because it's for us. Now, the younger guards, I mean, somebody else might have a problem, but when it comes to this nation, I'm about this nation.
Exactly.
So when it, you know, with us being there, that helps to assist them. And as Born Black just said, we about our nation. So the rest of them, they got to take that somewhere else. And I don't have a problem telling them in the class, excuse me, bro, you listen, you know, you can't come back here no more. Okay? So let's not make this a big deal. Don't, you know, this is for the nation of God on earth. I don't have a problem with doing that.
If I may interject. So from experience, so I kind of get what the person's saying also, but and what has become a little bit more insidious too with that was that so you have these bloods having problems with the kings and the yetas. So in most jails the guards are strong. So what they do, some of these bloods, or you know, listen man, oh yeah, I just got knowledge on the guard. See, because once you come in claiming you us, you know, I'm not letting nothing happen to you, right? You know, just like we talked about earlier. So what happens now? We just had beef with you last month, right? Now you talking about your name is, you know, Great Mind or something, whatever, you know. And actually, this dude's intentions, I don't really want to not do this as an umbrella because my team ain't strong and yours is, right? And then you still exhibit these behaviors. So what we did, like with Law and Justice, man, and we seen that was happening. Listen, look, talking about the operation. We of course we mediated because we about peace, man. We're not about war. No, you're not gonna put your hands on them. But we let this brother know this here. I mean, you know, I don't want to go there because we on tape. But what I will say is that we did tell the person with the knowledge, everything's subject to be shown and proved, man. You know, and there's rewards and penalties for person's actions and deeds here, man. You know, right? Because we're not going to the nation of. When we did go to the nation of Islam, we took that over, but we took it over for the purpose because we were about empowering and teaching, and plus there was nobody there, and most of these particular forums. And so, fortunately, we had our own. But again, yes, you have those behaviors where you get, where we've already acclimated in most of these jails. It's just that, and they see, they got a forum. So let me go there. They got a class, they got a forum, let me go there. But if you're not there to be taught, you're not there to teach it, and you're there for anything else, man, right, I got no problem with that because civilized means to be civil, and we obey laws. And what place can you, listen, my man, look, we're not doing that. You call me what you want to call me, just don't call me late for dinner and don't be in this class next week. Right.
What I was looking at is a different thing that all of a sudden you got brothers saying we got a class and they go there and the one who is supposed to be the facilitator is not one of us.
Okay.
See, I was looking at that point too.
Yeah,
that you go to a class and, you know, I'm talking about what's happening now where they telling you, man, we went to this class and they run by A, B, or C. See what I'm saying? It's the same sort of thing. Brothers say, yeah, God, you going to class? Yeah, let's go to class. And then we get in there and find out that I'm a nation of this and I'm a nation of that.
But before you even do that, Umar, they're going to have to see law and justice in it first.
No, but what I'm saying is,
from
our perspective, that's what we're doing. But he said he's been getting complaints that they go to classes and it's supposed to be our classes.
Well, we'll weed that out.
Class.
And that's what I was saying.
That's what I'm saying. For the guard that's asked the question, in time, by us going in from Mecca, you know, for guards from out here that's going in, because it's also you gotta, in order to go in, you gotta go through a program with me personally to see if you qualify to even go in there.
That's right.
Anybody is
True 120. Where you from? True 120. I mean, I think we addressed it. You know, brothers asked a question like you said. It's ideas. People put ideas that help refine it, and then also, I just wanted him to know that that's being addressed. You understand what I'm saying? Because that, you know.
And it's new to all of us because we never been in there going in this manner. So that's why I said the screening process for anybody that wants to go through, they gotta sit down with our team and we're gonna qualify. Yeah, we're gonna qualify, disqualify you.
Yeah,
before you able to go in
you
there.
ain't just going in because you
Remember-
got a righteous name.
Right, and we dealing with these people, you know, who really don't care for us. So, you know, they'll do anything, any type of trick just to come at you. So we have to be in our best behavior and in the best interest of the nation of gods and earth. So, you know, that's just that part of it. And the worst part of it is what we just spoke about. Weeding out those that are not really about the station and teaching those that really want to be taught, that want to be civil. That don't want to run around thinking they want to bang on somebody all the time, you know, or have no type of mindset of what they're about to do when they even come out here to the free society. Or I want to be a G when I get out there. My man, he run this area. You know, that's the mindset of a lot of the youth that's in there. So we got to change that paradigm. And by having our classes and reaching out, once they walk that yard, they'll be able to tell other guys, you need to start getting with this because this is more positive and it's more productive for you.
What
Okay.
other
So-
points you want to bring
so
up,
true-
man?
No, that's just the facilitator.
The
We
brother
going
said
to
he's from the
what I want to
Bronx.
teach.
Yeah,
Right,
because
he's
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying we're
Okay,
staying on.
we getting ready to go into that now.
The
Say
brother
that
said
again?
he's from the Bronx, right? And life is asking a question about brothers being accountable, and that's what this is about. Is the brothers is saying they, you know, the facilitators is not just going to be qualified by the Department of Correction no more. Allah You Justice has got it set up where he's going to be qualifying, disqualifying people. You understand what I'm saying?
That's
You-
it.
you
You
call
got
it
it,
right.
God. You got it.
That's right, you got it.
All right, so that's dealing with the facilitators and the foundation of that. I want to go into actually what's being taught when I do the training. Remember, the training is for their staff. They call it sensitivity training because that just gives them a little more knowledge on what we about. You know, even though they know and they try to say they don't know, but our duty is to teach all the human families on the whole planet Earth. So this is where we put this together. You know, this PowerPoint presentation that I'll be facilitating once I go up there, me and a couple of guys. Okay, the culture. You got that, dog?
Yeah.
Go to the next page.
All right, right here.
The culture of the nation of gods and earth is the first page. Now, the universal flag is the first thing that
In class.
we dealt with. Okay, there might be some issues with this, but if you notice, if you got an issue, everything that's here come from this man. And I like people to speak on it because then it sends them back to do their own research. Okay? Nation, the universal flag of the nation of gods and earth.
Yeah, one.
8-point star represents 8 foundation lessons. We all know what that is, correct? Okay? The gold represents the brown and yellow. Now, this said this, I read the lesson, I have it if anybody want to look at. This is the lesson that Shamgar wrote, the God that designed the flag. This is what it says in there. The white in the middle represents the cream of the planet Earth. The star represents the black child, who is the most important part of God's civilization. Crescent moon represents the black woman. The 7th represents the law and the understanding he manifested, teaching that the black man is God. Anybody have any questions?
That's
Keep in
basic.
mind-
Man, that's
Yeah,
basic.
yeah,
So that's
right.
what you did. You
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
want to
yeah.
go in there with basic.
Right, right, right.
I
I'm
don't
not
want to take
trying to-
nobody on those.
I'm not taking
No,
nobody
no,
on
you don't
those-
lose nobody.
Right.
Keep it, man.
Basic. That's how you
I'm
want to
keeping
deal with
it
it.
on a foundation basis where they can have, you know,
Yeah, they add on.
Once
You
they
give them
do
the
their
foundation,
research.
give them that, and tell them do your own investigation, and
Absolutely.
you add on to
right.
it.
Now this is, remember this is for staff.
Yeah.
Now if they have any additional questions they want to ask me, then I can go into that, or our team, we can go into that. But this is just for them to have
Yeah,
a
basic.
foundation knowledge on
Yeah.
our nation.
I want a copy of that though.
Yeah,
Because I wanna go in it.
I know you want to go in it. God, show me what to go in.
Yeah,
too.
man.
You need to go. All right, let's go to the next page.
Yeah.
Copy.
All right, the nation of gods and earth culture. If you notice the little things, if anybody know what points are, that's what those little black pieces are.
Oh yeah.
The nation of gods and earth is a God-centered culture where God comes first every day and in the center of our lives. God-centered culture came out of the case, so that's why it's there. When the case went into court, that was what they used.
Terminology.
Let me ask you a question.
Terminology.
When you say
Right.
when you say God centered, right? What do you actually mean by that?
Okay, the center of our being is our Lord, When
Okay.
you speak about every day God centered me, my whole life, every day when I wake up is based on the law of mathematics. So everything is the center of my being, like the center of our flag is God. So
Okay.
everything is based upon that.
Okay.
Okay, God-centered culture. That's what our culture, how we start living it, based on what the law gave us.
Okay.
So it
The
became
reason why I
God-centered.
asked that question is because when I first heard God-centered culture, I didn't actually understand what they was talking about.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, I real easy now that I asked a question, I got the answer. I
Right.
understand
And
that.
that's why I put it out there
Yeah.
so that, you know, because that was the language of the case of
yeah.
Intelligent Tyree's case.
Because you,
They
what you're
do.
saying, the culture is our God.
Yeah,
Right.
it revolves
Basically,
around you.
That's it.
Yeah.
It revolves right around
Same
you.
thing, it revolves around you.
Right.
Our culture is one of peace. Our customs, traditions, principles, and ideals are reflective of our love and understanding of God. Is
Easy.
that us?
To the
Yeah.
point.
That's us, right? For us, God is a physical reality and not a mystery.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
right there. I'm gonna copy that
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Okay. Are we rolling so far?
Okay, next
Rolling.
page.
All right.
Customs, making God a reality. We study and understand God and to make God the center of our lives. Our studies include learning the faculties of the mind and body. The same way Buddhists, Christians, and Islamic studies teach to learn the dynamics of human emotions, love, peace, happiness. We teach the suppression of anger, hate, jealousy, greed, lust, etc.
That's real good.
Where do we get that from?
Yeah.
Where do we get that from?
That's
Right?
120.
So that keeps us from dealing with devilish.
Devilishment.
Period.
That's
Right?
real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you have to go in there and deal with the
Yeah,
good correction officers.
Exactly.
You know, you want to make sure that they understand exactly that deal.
We don't hate you.
No, not at all.
But we suppress it.
We understand.
And you understand, man. Right. Yeah.
Because when we was younger, we wasn't in control of our emotions to that extent until we became God-centered, our culture, our God, and said, you know what, I need to. Now we start learning how to control things a little better. So all that comes into play.
Yeah.
We get rid of them devils that was in our mind, our thinking, our lives. We change that. Okay, God. Study of the mind, intelligence. We study to activate the mind of God, the basic eternal qualities of the divine mind. The mind of God gives us the ability to learn, to understand, and to deal with new and trying situations in our lives.
Oh, listen. Intelligence itself, if you know what the word really means,
Mind,
it means knowledge.
not so that goes right to that.
Foundation, exactly.
Information.
It's
That's
all
all it means,
information
man.
that we acquire to put us on a positive and productive reality of our lives.
Because your intelligence itself means knowledge. What makes a person an intelligent person is the way they activate that knowledge.
There you go.
That's when you become intelligent, because you utilize your knowledge intelligently.
So the mind of God gives you the ability to learn. Okay. There you go. Let's go to the next one.
Okay.
Study of the body, dietary laws.
Okay.
And we get into that on a daily basis. One of the very first things we was taught in the nation is to go on a fast. Alright? Okay, so the body is the temple of God. We are the true and living God. We study the biological makeup of our bodies to learn what foods are compatible with. We practice the dietary laws of no pork. We pick foods based on the diets of animals we eat. Also, how the diet can affect our digestive system and our biochemical structure. Our dietary laws are supported by the same laws written in the Bible and the Quran. No questions?
Yeah, we good.
Good. Okay. To the next one.
That's your, God, that's your phone? God. That's your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Oh, he's trying to keep it down, but that was a thing.
Oh yeah, I turned it down.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's all the way down.
You can't put it on vibrate?
That's what it's on.
Nah,
Okay,
nah.
don't worry about
Nah,
this.
that's somebody else's phone.
Don't worry about it, we got this.
Okay.
Okay, we here now. Traditions. And see, with the case, that's what intelligence had to do. He had to show this is how he lived every day. Every day. So they, oh, that's religion. No, this is culture. This y'all took and made it into these things. But this is how we live on a daily basis. Learn the nation of God's history starting from the Lord's birth. Memorizing supreme mathematics and alphabets. Choose a righteous name from the supreme mathematics and alphabet. Memorize 120 degrees. Tradition.
Okay.
We do this on a regular.
Mhm.
Everybody has to do
Yeah,
that.
that's who we are.
Who you is.
Right.
You saying learning, but you don't put teaching in? Or teachers coming in the future? I mean, when you go to another thing.
Learn
See,
what-
you're saying that our traditions is to learn, but we also teach.
Okay, we're gonna get on.
I'm
We're
just
gonna
Okay,
get
good,
to
good, good point, Milan.
that. That's a very good point.
See, your glass is working, huh?
All right.
Okay.
That's good.
The next section deals with the history of the father.
Okay.
Clarence Edward Smith, February 22nd, 1928, Pittsfield County, Virginia. Born to Marion Lewis, came to New York in 1944, inducted into the United States Army in 1952. Any disagreements?
No, but I want copies of all this.
We know.
Yeah, speaking of that, it's a brother out here. He said he's in his name is Lord Jaweg Aline, and he's in Wise Powerborn, Florida. And he said he's trying to start a school out there. He wants to know how he can get his hands on this
Yes.
this teaching that you got right here.
The reason I'm doing the class, and I'm glad that God invited me, I had thought about it, because remember, if y'all remember the last class, I said this has to go to the 9 different regions.
Yeah.
We are the pilot program. This is the start of it, okay? Because it started here, so we're going to do the pilot program in Frisco. And once that pilot program is completed, and we see this right, we take that pilot program and we give it to every other region that starts a class, or cultural management office in their school, or wherever, or the state then, and then all that information will be given to them. They can give it, and it's the same way how the 16 different states were able to approve us as the nation of gods and earth. The same what they did is we took Intelligent Reeves' case and we sent it to the different guards in the penal institution, where Intelligent Reeves' case, Maria versus Rashid versus Brodus. What they did with that case, being that was the primary case, they had to find another case in their state that would be primary law for their state and use the Intelligent Reeves as secondary law. That's how the other 16 states were able to open it up, because they took what we gave them
different laws in different
states. What's primary here in New York is only primary for New York. But usually whatever New York and California make law, the other states usually follow behind, because those are the leading states. So we took the lead with, Mecca. New York, for anybody on it that don't know, New York is Mecca, the city of the gods. So this is, we're taking it from here and do the pilot program here, and then we take all that knowledge, that intelligence that we talking about, and we give that to another state. Now they got to build with it. We can't spread ourselves too thin, but we have the knowledge and we have the information for them to build with.
This brother, he's outside trying to get a school, correct?
Yeah, he's on the outside, and he's saying he's trying to
use the format.
This information right here, you breaking it down in a succinct type of way. You understand what I'm saying? Where they can tell people real simple without, you understand what I'm saying?
This not only can be taught to who people I'm teaching it to. When you look at it, it can be taught anywhere in our nation.
Well, and if I may, going back to that, that depending on the person, now we get to know this person is whatever.
Yeah.
We can disseminate that information to them, right? I mean,
Well, like I told you last week,
right.
Like I told you last week, because we don't know who we building with.
Right.
Well,
Right.
They
Right.
need
We
to
get to know.
write to us a letter. Let us know what
What
they're
they trying
looking
to
for,
do, yeah.
and then we can build with them on that.
So what's
Get to know
what's
each
the
other.
so they would write a letter to 2122 7th Avenue and
Care
what
of
Care of
Law
law
and
and
justice.
justice.
in care of Allah you justice. You got that? You write to the school in care of Allah you justice and let them know what you want to do with this
Right.
syllabus right here.
And then we can help. When we don't know
Now-
what you're doing, we can help.
He's in Florida.
He's in Florida.
Okay.
There's a few
I
people
don't.
out
Well,
there.
I don't know what region is that.
Say wise power
no.
Yeah.
Out of the 9 regions,
Oh,
we
West
gotta
Palm
look at-
Beach.
West Palm.
But
Yeah.
out of the 9 regions, no. What I'm
I gotta
saying,
give you
we
a
have
copy
9
of that. I gotta
regions.
give you a copy.
I'm
of
gonna
that.
next week or whenever.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna bring a copy of the 9
Nine
regions.
regions.
This way, whatever region he fall under,
'Cause
they
I
need to
don't
put a
know.
class or a school or whatever they're gonna do in that region. And what they do is we just take that information.
Might
and
just
give
be
it-
a
Florida
household.
might be
It might just
full.
be a
Might
household
region-
individual.
Might be region
Yeah,
4.
but if that's what you're
Um,
doing, and y'all
True
doing it,
120. Do you know what region you in?
It might be
Oh no, who is
4.
this?
That's
Region
Lord
four is North
Waleed.
Carolina.
Yeah, Lord
North
Yahweh
Carolina,
in Florida. Do you know what
South
region you in?
Georgia.
Georgia, but I don't know if it's Florida. It might
It
be
might be
Florida,
Florida.
because that's all down in
All
that
that's
region.
yeah.
Let him, but tell him to write, and the next
We'll
week
find
have
out.
all that.
Georgia, no. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
what
find
I'm
out.
on the
Yeah.
I-95.
All right,
All
let
that
me
corner.
move on because this is pretty extensive.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, we can move to the next one. Military history. Okay, Law entered the military October 30th, 1952. Honorable discharge September 30th, 1959. Law's medals. That was his number. For his medal, 51-27-85. Korean Service Medal, Bronze Star. Combat Infantry Badge, President Unit Citation, from the Republic of Korea, United Nations Service Medal, National Defense Service. The reason why I got all this,
Unit
Doing this
citation?
thing.
I got all of this, God, from his grandson that came.
Oh, right, okay,
And he had-
thing, right, right.
And when you get the pamphlet, we have all the medals in there. It shows you a picture with all the medals.
Speed,
Okay.
okay.
You can go to the next one.
Okay.
Nobody have any
No,
disagreements
no,
with
no,
me?
we good.
Okay. Allah's children, 1946. Allah met with Lena Jowers. They had 2 sons, Allah, B. Allah. Allah married Dora and had 4 children, Christina, Deborah, Clarence, and Perry. Now, I just want to stop there for a minute because I had an issue with another brother saying that there's another father had another son. Me personally, I don't know about that.
Javeza.
No, Gervais's son is
So,
right
Son's
here.
the last
I got
one.
that. But I'm talking about, okay, let me finish that. Allah's last child was his 7th child, was birthed from the earth named Gervasia and was named after Allah.
Allah.
Okay, it was
He
supposed
in
to be another,
California.
there's
He
supposed to
was
be another
anyway.
seed. I don't know anything about that, so I didn't add that to that.
We don't know
I
that.
ain't- I
Right,
don't know about that
exactly.
either.
Somebody else brought that to my attention. I said, well, listen,
But I met
I'm
Allah,
going
that
on
one.
what I was taught
He
and
was
what
in-
we
he was in
know.
California.
And what we know as, it was taught to us. I don't know about this other person. Okay, so if that is the case, then let them, they deal with that. You find the fact and bring it to us. As it stand right now, these are the facts.
Okay, got you, Don.
Upgraded
Okay.
edition.
Yeah, all right, go to the next one. Nation of Islam. So now we're going into the law's history.
The kind of root of where, right, I got you.
Okay. Allah or Clarence 13X. This purpose was to separate the nation of Islam from the nation of God's and earth.
Religion and
Because
culture.
we're showing the distinguishing differences now.
Religion and
Okay.
culture.
There you
Okay,
go.
there you go.
That's it, God. Okay, the Nation of Islam teaches that there's only one God, Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Okay, so we know that our father, Allah, was in the Mars. When he came out, he went in, Dora, his wife was already in there, so he went into Mars. But he goes into, Allah had a revelation through the studies within the Supreme Wisdom. The student in Roman could remember in the Mars it was called the Supreme Wisdom. Okay?
Right.
I need to put that out there for those who don't understand.
What, the 1 in 10 was called the Supreme
The
Wisdom?
120
Mhm.
people.
Oh,
The whole 120 was
Yeah.
taught.
Okay, with supreme wisdom.
Okay.
Okay? The student enrollment lesson, the first question asked is, who is the original man? The answer, the original man is the Asiatic black man, the owner, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe. Through this lesson, Allah realized that he himself is God. And so it is, and so is all original men on the planet. This becoming his core teachers conflicted with the teachings of the Nation of Islam, leading Allah to leave the temple and his Muslim name, Clarence 13X, behind. So when he left, he was no longer Clarence 13X. He left all that behind him. Okay, he was seen as a law. We all agree?
Peace out.
Peace, God.
Peace.
Peace, scientific. Okay. The Nation of Gods emphatically refers to Allah as Allah. We do not refer to Allah as Clarence 13X.
Thank you.
Because that's the name he left behind at the temple. The nation of gods and earth was born from the mind of Allah, who fathered the 5% nation.
Wow. I couldn't
Work with that one.
Yeah, you worded that right.
Yeah.
You worded that right.
That's that word.
I couldn't.
I like the part about we left that.
That's
When
behind.
we got here.
Yeah, that's behind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You did
Shasha
that.
was saying that loud the other day too.
Huh?
Shasha was saying that loud
Okay.
the
We can
other
go
day.
to
Don't
the
call
next.
him Karen X.
Mhm.
Call him Allah.
Okay,
That's
Allah
what it
teaches
is.
the youth. In 1963, Allah left the Nation of Islam and went out into the wilderness of North America. That could be, we already know what that's about. Allah became the father of supreme knowledge over wisdom, which brought the natural order back to living mathematics. Because remember in the Mars, they
There's
taught wisdom knowledge.
Right.
Okay, so Allah brought it to us, knowledge, wisdom, understanding.
That's right.
Okay?
Could you put just one clause in there? He left the Mars in 1963 and came out, but he began to actually teach in 1964. When this is how I got it.
Yeah, somebody
Yeah,
sitting there, my man. You in the way of the camera too.
This is how I got it. I got it that
What's your name?
Prince, that I got it that the way I got it was that the Messiah and them was on the street. 'Cause when I came in '64 around May,
Black
June,
Messiah?
yeah, when I
First
came
Messiah.
around May and June, the brothers knew lessons. You know, we came as young. We learned lessons from them. But what I was told was that Messiah kept going back and forth to the mosque along with other brothers and applying for his X, and he didn't get his X. And then he walked by Prince one time, and Prince said, "You want to see Allah? Go down the basement." And what he said was, "If I go down the basement, da 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 da." But when he went down the basement, and then Allah saw him, Allah said, "Peace, son." And he said, "Peace." He said, "How, how old are you?" And he said, "I'm 16." So he said, "From your knowledge, I see your equality. From your equality, you look, on God."
Yeah.
Like that. But Prince and
Messiah.
Messiah, Kareem, down the basement. And when he came out, he went and got another brother and another brother and another brother. That's how you got the first 9 born. But in 1963, when he came out, he was with the older guys, and he, Shaheed and them was
right,
together.
okay.
But they never, the old, like one guy, he said, "My name Devil." Just to say, if you Allah, I'm Devil. You know what I mean? But through the process of him going up and down the basement, dealing with the people on the street, the first one that actually came to him, and he knew Prince, and he knew Rasul. But the thing about it, when he named the first 9 born was because they came down, they actually got it straight from him. And what he taught was
Go in the back.
Go back, go to the back.
He taught the 1 to 10.
Go to
and
the back.
He taught the 1 to 40 to them. That's why when you say BG said y'all dealing with the other lessons, all we got was the 1 to 10 and the 1 to 40. That was the meat of what they was
I'm
teaching.
looking for Supreme because he can't hardly see under that table because he got all his clothes up under there.
Where he at?
I don't know where he was. I thought he was in here.
Nah, he ain't here.
Nah, I move it out.
So that's what I want to put down.
Basically saying that the year
I got
63, then he was
I
just
want to
teaching
stretch
that.
my knee.
In the 63, he tried to teach, but nobody
it gets
wasn't
messed
catching
up,
it. But
man.
when he got the younger down there,
So Messiah was 64.
right, there was
Alright,
in
so
the
this line,
64.
so the exception of from Messiah
Necessary
64.
change or?
No, you could just write
No,
it down.
just write it down, added, then he came in the street, he left the mosque in 63,
Right,
but it
yeah.
actually, the teachings actually began to
64, yeah.
grow in 64,
So,
so put it
Jim,
that way. Okay.
And remember, that's why I'm asking you, because I did send this package, but it's not completed. So
Okay.
I have room to change it and send it back to them, because when I go in to teach, we're gonna have it right in this, everything gonna be the way we want it's
Right.
supposed to be. That's why I want y'all to be here, so we have these questions and we can speak to it,
The only
okay?
thing, what I would add is he came out in 63, but the teachings really caught hold
in
in
64.
64.
Okay. We can do
Something
that.
simple, you ain't gotta.
Okay, okay, where is we at now? The law created the supreme mathematics to be the language of God and earth, the supreme alphabets as the tools and the word of God to be spoken. In addition, the law provided us with the basic fundamental teachings of 120 lessons. Together, the supreme mathematics and the supreme alphabets became the genesis in our nation's book of life, which also contains 120 lessons.
Man, you gotta throw Shaib up in there in the mathematics, because him and Shaib
Yeah, I know they do.
work together.
Okay. The study of 120 lessons, well, see, a lot of that, what he just said, we can add Shaib, that comes with research.
Right.
We just wanna keep it
Right,
where
straight
they
up.
can straight up,
Right.
you know, where, as far as the nation is concerned. When you deal with a law, world manifest, it said, the science of living mathematics was kept preserved for the Son of Man to raise them into the dead in this day and time. It doesn't speak about Europeans,
Right.
anybody else. It was kept preserved, peace, Almighty God, it was kept preserved for us. So anybody that, without the surface information that I'm giving them about this nation is what they'll have. Now, to do the research, the only one that, they can do the research, but when they do the research, it's only gonna come back to us. It's gonna always come back to us, okay? We study 120 lessons without being NOI Muslims, without being NOI Muslims. We study the Bible without being Christians. We study the Quran without being Orthodox Muslims. Okay? So it shows the difference. We are not Muslims. We are not Christians. We are not Jews. We are the 5% nation of gods and earth. So I keep building in that area to show the distinguishing difference between us and them. In the Penal institution, one time, if we under the NOI and the 5% used to try to get past, and we put up a program that was similar, what David said as duplication of the program. Y'all don't need a class. Go to the classes with the Muslims. No, but the case allows us to have our own now. So I try to keep showing y'all the distinguishing difference between us, the nation of gods and earth, and those Muslims.
Okay.
Okay? We can move on. In 1964, Allah started teaching the youth in Harlem. That's what you was looking for?
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
got to,
In Harlem.
He was impatient, don't worry about it, God. We
Yeah,
got
I
it.
know.
Let me stop.
But I kept asking,
You right, though.
I know it's there. I put
Yeah.
this together.
But that part though, Umar dropped though, that's,
It makes sense.
You
I
put-
got
you
that.
need me to
I
know
mean,
that.
that
That
little
definitely.
bit we can put in there.
yeah, that's our first.
In 1960, that's why I told him I needed him here.
Okay. Got you, peace.
In 1964, Allah started teaching the youth of Harlem who knew and accepted him as the true and living God in the flesh of his being. Those youth became known as the first 9 born. Together with Allah, they began teaching the black man is God. is the new Mecca, and Harlem became the new Mecca of the world. These teachings differ greatly from any other teachings about God in that day and time. Teaching the black man as God had a profound effect on the world community in the civil rights era in the 1960s. I know that. He know that. He know that. You should know that. All of us that lived in that era, we know how profound our teachers was in these streets in the early 60s.
Now, the only thing I would like to say to that is when you mentioned Mecca, like the teaching went from the all five boroughs. It grew up with all five boroughs plus Staten Island.
I just spoke
I know
of it
you
as
just
being the
the
root.
This was the root.
And like I said,
And it spread out.
I want us to keep in mind and don't get away from it. This is what I gotta teach these people in Department of Corrections about it. So I'm not going into depth with them about everything that we did. I'm giving them a surface, a foundation about what we are. Now, when they go, if they want to get more, the facilitators that's in the facilitator, if they choose to build with them on that, then that's on them. If they choose to do research on it, that's still on them. But I'm just giving them the foundation, the surface of our nation. Anything else would be on them.
Man should give a call.
Where we at? New York became known as the city of gods. Allah was an first example of a patriot, and everybody needs to thank him for his military service to our country. I'm speaking to them now, to our country. Allah taught the youth to be the greatest they could be, to get an education and to respect the government. Anybody disagree?
And I add on Bronze Star Award.
You got that.
Got
You passed that already, God.
All
I
right,
got,
I'm just
I got all
wondering,
his medals and every.
This is a not to fair. This is a manifestation of a book or something you're doing for the prison system.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But that, you got on it. We just went through all his medals and everything that he had. Okay.
Great.
I wanted to say, in regards to what our opposition was in our fight to remain conscious, we have to make it known that it is religion that is the element of distinguishment here.
Well, that's what we're doing.
We already talked about that.
We talked about it. Okay, look, we went, God, everything that I'm going through is showing how we're not that. This is not what we're about. Okay, this is what we're about.
I know nobody don't want to put it up there, but God told us to pay our debts to society so we can be free from it.
That's right. And don't
He
go
told
back.
brothers to go back and give their debt. One brother stayed out for 6 years and then got busted on a parking ticket. They threw him in jail. He said, man, I got to go back. They're going to send me up for about 5 years. 4 months later, he came out. He said, God, I can't believe this shit. They freed me. You know?
Yeah.
That actually happened.
I walked with a brother. He was looking at 20.
Yeah.
He came back. He worked at a job 8 years.
Yeah.
They said you rehabilitated yourself. Get out of here. Just don't come back to this state.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That
talking
was
about.
Lamel and Mass, who I told.
I
Told him what Allah said.
Brother said, I ain't going back to jail for the shit I did.
You gotta pay your debt to society if you owe.
Pay your debt to society.
That's in the history, and Allah did say that.
Okay, keep in mind, like I said.
You going overall with the staff and then.
Yeah, well, right. I just want to keep, I don't want us to get away from the focus that this is what, I got to do sensitivity training for their staff, and this is what I'm teaching.
Gotcha.
Okay, so, and the first place I got to go training to is Matterhorn. The same place Allah taught.
Fishkill. It's called Fishkill.
It's called Fishkill now. But they already said we are, in April 22nd, I gotta bring my team up there and we're gonna do this training.
And that was for the criminally insane.
Yeah,
Back then,
It wasn't just regular prison.
No, it wasn't then. Back then, right.
All right, let me keep on track. May 31st, 1965, Allah was arrested with several other individuals from a lawful assembly and from the Hotel Teresa for teaching. That September, Allah was sent to a psychiatric ward for telling the judge he needs no legal representation because he is Allah. While in Matterhorn, Allah taught the nation of God's and Earth's first Caucasian adherent named John Michael Kennedy. We know him as real. Okay, he stood a sincere practitioner until his death in 2013. Okay.
That's real.
And we also know this other character that started the firstborn Muslim was up there with him also.
A
Yeah.
lot of people
His son was there. Abdul. Abdul was up there. A few
was
people.
in the mosque too.
Robert Walker?
Robert Walker.
Robert Walker.
That was firstborn Muslim, Robert Walker.
Robert Walker.
Abdul
He was there
like
too. He the one that came home with that nonsense talking about Allah and the wisdom body. You know, okay, so but that, you know, and again,
Allah
God,
told him, teach your own. If you want to do something in
there,
there,
teach them,
go
right?
teach that.
And you remember in the teachings that I did about that, the first
Divine
one
God was
oh,
also
you
in
do right
Padawan with Allah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I spoke. You was here
Divine
about
God.
Yeah.
Divine
Okay,
God,
so to the next one.
Umala.
Abdul.
Divine God was also in Manila with Allah.
Okay, I went into this too. The numeric system of 10 principles. Our language understands our relationship to the universe. Go ahead. I hope they changed this because they did change it. Okay. Because in the beginning they had 10. There's no 10 mathematics.
Right.
There's
right.
no 10 mathematics.
It's
I
not
don't
10.
care where you get that from. And a lot of people be trying to teach that,
Yeah.
but I ain't never was taught that. It's
That's
only
basic.
9.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
only
It's
9.
only 9.
Any
And when you
mathematician.
deal with when you're
No.
dealing with mathematics, they have units.
Yeah.
And the units of the first unit is from 1 to bone.
Yeah.
And then it adds on when the knowledge
That
comes
show
down
how
from
far the knowledge of born traveled.
He
Exactly.
said that's the bridge
Okay.
that goes over to go back to now.
Okay, we all agree with this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, let's
Mine
go to the
got
next.
destroyed, but then I explained mine. That's my lesson.
Yeah, well, you
I
heard us say the
understand
same
that's
thing
my
too.
lesson.
Stop with them.
Yeah.
That's his understanding.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you got
You know, you draw it up. He
Relationship
went all the way to
universe.
Cali.
Yeah, exactly. Relationship to the universe. Man is symbolic to the sun, woman is symbolic to the moon, child is symbolic to our stars. We all agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Knowledge. Know, look, listen, observe, respect.
You say know your ledge. Go ahead.
Know the ledge, you
Yeah,
don't
know
fall
your
off the
ledge.
edge. I heard that years ago.
Yeah.
Wisdom.
You either wise or dumb.
Knowledge put to use. Experience, proper speech. So if I'm running around cursing at you all the day, calling you all kind of names, would that be wisdom?
No, that's not wise.
It's not wise.
You either wise or you dumb.
There you go. So, you know, that's what meant by proper speech. So we remember, once we get in, our whole purpose is to uplift a people who really don't have understanding of what who they are,
Exactly.
or what this world
To
is
teach.
about. To teach.
And the woman was never called wisdom when we was teaching. Came back and the wisdom, I'm doing my wisdom to this and all that.
That was later on.
I taught you well.
Understanding.
Comprehension.
Woman was a moon.
Knowing the facts.
Yeah, go into something and stand up to it.
Okay, let's go. Keep going. The body, practical application, daily conduct. Okay, let's go into that.
Yeah, cause that one.
Going to the next one?
You're going to that. That's just the
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Cultural freedoms are where like.
practical application.
Mhm.
Your way of life. We do that on a daily basis. How we live. I wake up in the morning before I get out of bed. The first thing I do is poke the day's degree. That's my practical application. That's my God-centered culture. I started off that way. When I get up, even before I brush my teeth and wash my face, my first part of refinement is to poke my day's degree. So I stay in tune with my reality.
And
Okay.
either you free or you
Daily
dumb.
behavior comes along with that. Because once we get the knowledge of ourselves, it tells us how we should behave ourselves. I never understood it, well, because I went through so much in my history, drugs and all
I was
that,
just
it
gonna
made
say
me give a
that.
broader
This is something
perspective.
that you went through.
I went through.
And your personal identity is within it, and it can help people get through that because you
Absolutely.
actually went
I
through
had
it.
my own
You
experience.
did time for what you did and got out.
Yeah.
So you gotta relate to those who don't know and how they can understand as simple as possible.
Exactly. Okay, daily behavior and knowledge. That deals with our culture to be free. Keep going, bro.
Keep going. Okay. Power
Power
refinement.
refinement. your physical ability, your health, refinement, you already know what refinement is, purification.
Hygiene.
Hygiene. Whether it's physical or mental. Because refinement also means to clean yourself up mentally.
Eating wrong food,
Okay.
more than just physical.
Exactly, you clean yourself. And we like, like a washing machine, you put the dirty clothes on, we got that right information, intelligence, and wisdom to clean all that up. Go that way, girl. Peace. Okay, moving right on. Equality, the balance of mind and body. Great information, positive information, helps to deal with the body as well. Remember, we went through that with our dietary laws. When we spoke about the dietary law, the law told us don't eat no pork. Not only do we not eat any pork anymore, a lot of us have done the research. We don't eat, some of us don't even eat meat no more. But that helps us to be in tune, a balance of mind and body. Okay? To deal equal in everything. I think that's great because I was building with the guard about that before when I got knowledge of self. It was one time, it was 6 of us living together, and that was all as a result of us going and telling our mothers, we ain't eat no pork, I don't eat that, and cook that in this house. And I remember my old herb, she was a little more moderate. She said, okay, you ain't gotta leave, but you better get your own pots and cook your own food. If that's what you're gonna do. Some other guys that I went, that was with me, they told them, yeah, well, you don't eat pork in this house, you can leave, it's my house. And we were young, and we band together. And we got an apartment. One of the guys' name was Justice Power out of Penal. We got an apartment, and all of us, it's maybe about 4 of us still left, but it was about 10 of us in this apartment, and all of us, we didn't have too much. I might have had 2 pair of pants and 2 shirts. You might have had 3 pair of sneakers and 2 shirts. But whatever we had, we dealt with each other in equality. It wasn't a thing about
not to interfere. The key word, what you saying, God, and this is what we all started with. Everything. If we show our people as black men the equality to each other, like I ain't bigger than you, you ain't bigger than me. Yeah. I ain't more special than you, we all alike. We share together. We are now above the devil at 6, because it's now our equality, which is God. And we will survive what they never taught us how to come together. They taught us how to be divided. So when you say equality means to be equal in everything, everything is equality in all. Okay. All is all love. If we do that with each other, we done beat the devil. Without even knowing who
try
we
to
are.
show that scenario.
Right, so they can
teach
it.
As I was younger, they can see it. Right. And as I grew into
gotcha.
It, and we all
that was our biggest thing in Mecca.
Equality.
Where we were showing equality. People would share with you that never did before. It used to be a motherfucker would take from people.
And it's the same thing. A lot of times,
I knew they must have talked to Allah.
God, with 85%,
there was brothers I knew.
Sometimes we have to put our equality out there first to show them what equality is about.
To teach.
A lot of times they don't.
Right. They never saw no one share that was black. Like they used to say the old times. To keep something from a black man, put it in a book. When you put it in equality and it's shown in front of people, they want to learn to read. They want to learn equality.
Okay, God, the black man, brown and yellow, the original man, good, orderly direction. I like to harp on that because that's what we about. God, G-O-D, good, orderly mathematics, direction. Okay?
Now this is where you're gonna get a lot of problems from them crackers. Because they're gonna say, well, what the white man is.
You know, I don't have a problem speaking. If you notice, Darkim, if you notice, that's why I put up there the envy, the lust, the greed, but I didn't use the term divine evil. I just used that because that's the behavior of the devil. And I'm not anti-black nor.
They bear witness quicker than our own people.
I'm anti-devilishment.
You teach this.
See that?
They bear witness quicker than teaching your own blind devil.
You see that, Born Black? I will put that up there before with the jealousy, envy, but I didn't use the term divine evil. I just said these are characteristics in a person.
That's not.
So it's not only just in the original man. I mean, the devil, the Caucasian man, is in the original
Anyone
man.
who carried that out.
That
The worst
shows
devil is a
Anyone
black
who
devil.
carried that.
That's
The
Yeah.
worst devil
That's-
is a black devil.
That's
And
how you
I feel
manifest
that.
your knowledge and shows and prove how well you can articulate depending on the environment that you're in.
Absolutely.
We got knowledge to deal with any situation at any given time. All we have to do is apply our mathematics. I ain't gotta call the devil a devil.
And
You
he
know
grabbed
what
the
I'm
man on
So-
any bad
so
man.
you see how I
That
did
ain't his
that.
part. He didn't ask
So
to
when
be
they
born
ask
like
that question, you know, this is anybody's. That's where that goes to.
That's it.
You know.
And the devil go to how his performance is. If he doing you right, that ain't the devil I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
The
I'm
devil
not
is
against-
somebody doing you wrong.
Yeah, who evil ways not only affect
If you put
himself,
yourself
but
in
affect
shit, he ain't the
everybody
devil
else.
because he locked you up.
You
He
coming
did
around me with
anything
that
that any
nonsense.
civilization will lock you up. To get free, you don't have no devil in your
Okay.
head no more.
For the sake of time, we gotta move on. Build or destroy. Positive and negative, add on or take away, creation or destruction.
Understood? Move on.
Some stage when somebody teaching or
Move on.
Born to bring into existence mental and physical
Going back
birth.
to the true existence.
born to exist.
Decipher.
360-degree circle, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, man, woman, child, person, place, king, sun, moon, stars. Listen, man, listen, excuse me, if y'all don't want to listen, man.
We being
Yo,
taped.
you got this.
We being
I'm on
taped.
tape.
We got this.
You got this.
Why me jump up? Why me do that?
Why? Why I can give you some Ben Gator sit back there?
Yeah.
No, man, we on tape. We on tape.
We is.
Viewing us.
Here we is.
We also want to say to you,
I gotta go. I gotta
God, when
go
you
up
talk
to
about how come right up there, you can say, I don't know how you would say it, but they gone.
But he said he spoke on Azriel though.
Right,
He
he
spoke on
talked on-
Azriel and said we had white 5%.
Right.
All he got to do is, well, my suggestion is that you just stick with we pro-righteous and anti-devilishment. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then that way you ain't got to really
You ain't gotta go into
throw them
that.
under the bus. You know what I mean?
No, that's good. I didn't even think
And,
about that. I
and
didn't
as
go back to that,
5%,
Darkim.
not only that,
I didn't
because
go back to
if you,
it.
when we go into this, I go into Mayor Lindsay and how you use 5%, you know, so all that covers that whole
Yeah,
thing.
okay.
Right.
It doesn't exclude them.
You gotta cover that. Bring it out to that.
We already made.
long. You gotta do that one the next
For the sake of
class.
time.
Let's look at the Supreme
We
Alphabet.
look at it.
I don't want to see nation or,
We probably need to disagreement with the Supreme Alphabet.
Now, you know, when we first got it was ZIC, ZAC.
Right, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say that.
You know.
Yeah.
But zigzag zig is all right with everybody?
Well, that's the way
Already
we
with
teach
me,
it
that's
now.
how I got it.
That's the way we teach it now. So, I mean, like, you know.
We also have zigzag zig.
Y'all might have had it
Zigzag,
different,
zig.
but that's how I got it. Zigzag zig.
What? Go back to N?
And
Now we're in.
Yeah, now we're in. That's always, it never was nation.
Oh, no.
Never was
See
nation.
how
I
it
got
corrects
now.
everything?
Yeah.
And that's the purpose of this, to correct all
Right.
the errors that's been there.
because I guarantee you somebody's gonna have nation in their lessons.
I had it before.
I had nation.
I never had.
I had it before.
I was waiting
I remember I got knowledge in Rikers Island, so I might have had any damn.
All right.
Next one. The Street Academy.
Street Academy. Okay? You see CR killed in the corner there, right?
Okay.
They gonna make
Yeah,
it.
Lindsay.
In July
Peace,
1967,
uh,
a law formed
What we doing next week?
with New York City Mayor John Lindsay. Mayor Lindsay gave a law to Street Academy where he can teach the inner city youth at a law. A law formed a close relationship with Lindsay's assistant Barry Godber and had turned the National Guards and Earth Universal flag into buttons to wear.
Okay?
Yeah. Never.
Pardon me, sir.
Ron Barry. Next one.
Oh, okay. This is the law of Barry Godber.
First bus ride, first airplane ride.
Remember, there's a book called The Mayor's Man that he wrote.
Right.
So that again, anybody that want to go into more reference as to who he is, that's when you do your research.
The one thing about the mayor's man, when he talked about Allah offered his daughters, it wasn't Allah, it was justice who said, hey, you can have any of them sisters. It wasn't Allah. In the book he wrote, Allah offered him his daughters. But it wasn't Allah, it was justice.
Okay,
I
along
was
with Barry
standing
Garner,
there.
along with Barry Garner and some of the works,
Yeah.
Imam Morris Paul. Okay, go ahead, you read it, Chris.
Allah established a relationship with headmaster at Harlem Prep named Edward Carpenter. Edward Carpenter was intrigued by Allah's teachings and hung up a universal flag in his office and went by the name God Carp. God Carp agreed to enroll any God on earth to Harlem Prep that passed the educational course Allah established at their law school in Mecca.
I didn't know that.
Now that's great.
That's new.
We was the first ones in there.
I know.
Why?
God Carp.
Oh.
And he had his own flag in his office.
Right.
Okay.
Dr. Ben taught in Harlem Prep. And Dr. Clark, he was a visitor one time to Harlem Prep, but he used to talk about the history part.
Yeah, two powerful men.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
And that was the right people
Yeah.
they teaching at that time. And
But
most of
notice-
us that study these books, we know these are some of the great historians that keep us on point.
But notice that Yusuf Ben, he taught in Harlem Prep. He was one of the first historian teachers in there. We went under him while he was writing Black Men Living Now.
Okay.
And this is Dr. Ben at the end of his days. Near the end of his days.
Yeah.
So, and the point is showing them show different historical
Yeah, the relationship.
relationship.
Right.
Okay. Because we always want to show the
That was
productive
good.
and positive
Yeah.
side as opposed to
Because that was
their
something
thoughts
that,
of negative.
Yeah.
You know. Okay.
That's
It's a
the
relationship
school how it
like
looked
this in
today.
classes at a law school.
And that's how it looked today.
Okay.
It's
So it
today's
gives them a
teaching.
view to see what we really about. You know.
right, you
don't
get
get-
showed this already to them, right? This is something that you showed already to them?
No,
No,
they-
this
this
is
part-
something he producing the show to people.
They seen some of it. They didn't see the finished
Okay.
result.
Okay, I got you. What?
Finished result.
Because they ain't gonna put your class in here. You just started.
No, I'm not. Wow. Okay, I got you. I got you.
Go back.
Okay.
All right, I'll
Go
go back.
back. I want you to see what it says on the bottom. It says students of all ethnic backgrounds become practitioners to learn how to love and honor God within the teachings of the nation and God's and earth.
I think that's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah. Who did the wording for this?
We did.
Laws-
We
Oh, you collectively?
Call it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because what happens is certain words, if they not, words have power.
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
And a lot of times when they put it together, I was the last one to overlook it, and I'll look, I'm like, no, maybe we should not, let's rearrange the wordings so
Okay,
that, you know,
okay,
get a
okay.
better understanding.
Law school's achievements. The law school has educated and changed the minds of many youth who have been in the worst predicaments in life. Many NGE students have dedicated their lives to succeeding in school, earning degrees that allow them to qualify to open independent schools, cultural museums, and some became NGE instructors at their law school in Mecca. This is Sunez and
No, I mean,
now it's me.
okay.
So it's an educational program.
Right, it's just showing you
Yeah.
the building.
Our activities.
Our activities.
Okay, and Dr. Supreme Understanding on the tours is promoting, I believe it was a book promotion.
He PhD, the young man too.
Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah.
Supreme
So
Understanding.
and that's a
I'm
good
like-
thing.
Yeah.
Like even with Ron Press, he'd never been in prison before, and I made that known to them when they got here.
Right, and not all
And
of us are,
not all of
right,
us,
right.
you know, from that background.
Right,
We have
right.
a good example. You know, we have great examples
Yeah,
in our
right.
nation.
And this is, this should be Umi teaching the baby.
Umi
Yeah.
teaching the babies.
Just see a lot of
So it gives gives them a good vision on what we're about.
You see the men and women in operation.
There you go.
Right, and the final clip is a baby doing, I guess it's a yoga exercise or whatever.
That's what only, yeah.
And that's it. Now, for those that
So that's the PowerPoint presentation.
Okay.
and for those that want to view what our regions are, I'm gonna put the map up here. If you have your camera, you can take a picture of it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the above, that's the bill that I'm gonna inside with, inside the Department of Corrections in New York, and this is the information that I'm gonna give them about our nation. Anybody that's outside of Mecca that sees this, if they have any, any questions, any answers, or any other thing that they choose to add on, send a self-addressed envelope with a Law U Justice, 2122 7th Avenue, New York, 100, what's the zip code? 27. Okay? Take the class.
Yeah, no, please. So
Anybody have any questions? Or you can just build on what else is there. That's
I would say that I like the presentation. I would say that I like the presentation. It was well put together, well done.
yeah.
And with that, the way it is, you could also add on more things to
Yes,
it, like the
yes,
regions
yeah.
and stuff. So that's a start, that's a good one.
And
And I would say that anyone getting it has to be qualified to get it. Because like you tell somebody this is for you, and then you find out that 99 people got it, and they don't know what the hell they're doing with it, just as a plus lesson they put on I call anything that somebody just take and put on their shelf is a plus lesson. If they're not gonna use it every day.
well, I also personally think brothers could use that in any class setting.
Right, no, class setting, yeah, but
Yeah, no
not
question.
just,
That's right. Yeah.
not just to just say, oh, I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got
be
some real
smart.
valuable history of a law there. A
Yeah,
lot of things
yeah.
I ain't know.
Yeah, so
A
one
lot of things I don't know, but
yeah.
what I don't know, I don't know a law with all the medals and whatnot like that because I met them as a law. And I really look at brothers when they be talking, they say, yeah, man, when they say that to me, I say, well, you don't know what this nation is about.
Exactly. As soon as they
You
say
know?
that.
Right, and I know a brother that uses that and every time he speaks. I'm not gonna mention no names.
Who you talking about, brother Clarence? No, I'm talking about the law, my man.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. I never met him. I know his history, but I don't know him.
What'd be funny to me is that you call him Clarence, right? But your name is Powerful, Rainmaker, Wonderful of the planet. And everything. How your name get to be that?
If you ain't,
But his name is Clarence.
Yeah, right. And listen, man, peace to y'all for attending. This is important. It's, like again, when it was even further peace, let me just say that we have Darkim. We have Darkim and Umar here who also teach and teaching for a minute at this school. Umar teaches on Monday. Darkim teaches on Tuesdays, which is good. And this is where we're going. Like in this class, and I'm glad that's one thing I want to highlight. I may have to go back to a lot just to get that information because in our discussion, the 120, it's good to understand also, like the God was giving the PowerPoints to the people who were instrumental during the period. That's just why I asked Umar and other people also to come who were there. See, it's good to I can give you something right off memory, but here's someone who lived through that. You know what I mean? The Harlem Prep days. Because that was the foundation to the school. In fact, one of the primary focus and attention. Oh yeah.
here's the 9 regions. Anybody need a copy?
That's a better one than
Yeah, I'm
what
sorry.
I had.
I'm sorry. I just cut my own self off.
You sure did. You jumped out of your seat.
Yeah, jumped out. Yeah, but this is important though.
You said peace.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna come back to the bill.
That's 20 minutes past. That's the time it takes to hit somebody when you looking down to
There you go.
I'm gonna send this to your phone.
Okay. Cause I got the other one.
I have that
with the
one
with the 9 regions,
Real
just say
difference, yeah.
Bronx, New York, you know, like that.
Send that to my
that's-
phone too, Prince.
But that one is real good. I like that one.
So it's
actually
Florida. What Florida? What region is Florida up there?
It looks like 4.
Okay, so that's still with Warren Kingdom region.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the brother that you were speaking to, Tislam,
you could tell him.
you could tell him to get in
Region
touch
4.
with Born King Region 4, because that's what
Now,
Florida is.
It's a little question.
As long as you have that, like any information those guys call and whatever region in, you can tell them, touch base with them. This way it won't flood Mecca with all this, and that's what's been happening. So we try to get them to plug into the guards in their region. If they can't, if it doesn't happen, then they come to us.
Yeah, no, we're just saying, peace of God also. You have anything you wanted to add or say?
I have one question. Excellent presentation, like any great college course. I thought I thought Allah left the mosque based on the the Lord destroyed degree in the 1 to 40.
No, I don't know what you mean by that.
What do you mean?
Yeah, tell me what you mean. Break it down. What you mean by
He
that?
was teaching on it.
No, what he did was he got up in front and he was teaching. I don't know what degree was teaching on, but when he spoke in the mosque, when you say Allah will manifest, the whole mosque said Allah will manifest. They know what you're saying. And he was working on the elevator, and they asked him, they said, yeah, brother, why don't you go minister? When he went up there, and everything he said, like the master said, you gotta show and prove. You gotta manifest yourself. And they was ringing the bell, mostly in the mosque. When you say ping, everybody stop. They look around, the minister say, you come here, and the brother go, then they ring the bell and you go back to activity. They was busting the bell out like that, nobody was responding. So as the brothers was going up to stop him, he said, Farad gave it to Elijah, Elijah gave it to me, and Allah. And they asked him to leave the mosque. They didn't exile him, they didn't do nothing like that, they just told him, you gotta leave. So that's how I got it back then, and that had followed through all these years. And what lesson he was teaching, that's somebody brought out their own, unless you got it from Messiah who ain't here, unless you got it from somebody else in here, they not here. See what I'm saying? Right. So brothers be saying, yeah, he was building on the build or destroy degree. When he was, so every time he mentioned something that the Muslims know, like you gotta manifest yourself, you gotta show and prove. You gotta, who the original man, the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the whole mosque would go off with what he said, the ones who knew it. And they got tired of ringing the bell, so when they walked up to tell him that he had to get down, that's when they said, no, you gotta leave.
I want to bring this out though.
Let me just say this. Keep in mind, I'm not trying to teach them everything.
Right, the nation. You just trying to show them.
If they ask the question, then they got to do their own research on that.
Right.
And I'm just giving them what we about.
The basics.
Yeah.
Right. Well, one of the things I'm hopeful for with the Office of Culture and Institutional Management is that once we get in and build a relationship, I want to really emphasize the importance for the guards to receive an education that will enable them to survive these streets once they get released. For example, my son, he's in a Sing Sing right now. He's doing 17 years. He won't do the whole 17, I don't think, because he's got a real strong 440 motion coming in, right? That's because they manufactured evidence and all that. But he expressed to me expressed me for years how he wanted to go and get his law degree, right? But I'm saying now you got the opportunity since you're to take advantage of any educational opportunities you got. So when you do get released, you'll be in a position, man, to support yourself, and not have to because the recidivism rate is great, man. Brothers coming home and going right back because they can't deal with what's out here, and I can understand because I've been to Ward's Island and some of these others. I know how it is. The job situation in New York, you might be coming home and you can't go back home. Your mom might be up in the projects and they say if you show you can't live there, It's a whole lot of things, man. But the whole thing for me is, man, the lessons enable you, man, to like deal with reality. You know, become a better person and come out, man, and give back. You know, because we've had it, man, where we encourage brothers, you coming home to check into school. Well, some of them do and some of them don't. We've had brothers come home, come in one day, we don't see them no more. They don't come to parliaments or nothing. So we wonder, well, what happened? You know, because in reality, this is supposed to be a resource center for that purpose. To tell you where you can go and get a job, help with housing or whatever, you know?
Yeah, because some brothers came out years ago and said, they told me and my wife to come to law school to get an apartment.
Yeah,
told
right.
me now, you know, I would just put a thing up there for people to say they want to eat. You know, I'm hungry, well then go to this church, they sell such and such. At this time, we're supposed to be a resource center. What happened is that when guards come out of jail, some of them come up and say, I just checked in, I'm living down south, I'm still in a halfway house, I want a letter of support. Like one brother came to me and said, I need a letter of support so that I could give to my probation officer. So I said, what type of letter of support? Well, I teach karate class and I could teach, I'm writing a book, so I could teach it on Sunday for 3 hours. I'm not writing no letter for no probation officer and putting a law you center on it when you doing 3 hours on Sunday. We can't do that. Now another brother said, well, I want to do 5 days of youth coming, I want to be like say the God up there. When people come into school, I introduce myself, I take them through, you know, what a law school is about. I orientate them about the nation and stuff. That's a whole complete different scenario. You know, this brother, and then he's slick. He's not part of our nation, he just be around us. When we want to see him, he comes only with a car with 5 guys that want to buy it, so he can't be beat up. You know, he don't come around here like, peace God, how y'all doing and such like that. He one of them slicky dickies. You know?
I want to read y'all something. This came from Albany, from the, like I said, the Director of Ministerial Services. We had to put a disclaimer, and that means whatever information, you know, we put in. So they sent this back to me. The presentation is designed to offer a background of history of the Nation of Gods and Herbs, culture and practices. I've used the word culture because a lot of people say, what's this religion? Culture and practices for educational purpose. It provides a viewpoint of the culture from the perspective of outside the confines of correctional facilities and the New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision. The actual practices of the Nation of Gods and Earth's culture and context confines of correctional facilities of the New York State Department of Corrections Community Supervision docs are found in the current New York docs religious and holy day calendars, which together with the applicable directives set the guidelines and practices for the Nation and Gods and Earth's culture in New York State Correctional Facility. So it's telling you under the directives, even though it's, you know, they have religious, but
yeah, we recognize that you're labeled as a culture.
Yes.
Right. We're not changing how the name of our directive, but we know in that we still recognize the name of the culture. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Okay. And see, Reverend Antoine Atman Jr., Ministerial Program Coordinator, this is where it came from. Elmira, Green Haven, New York, the city hub, so Sullivan Hub. Okay. That's with all this, you know, whatever we deal with, I get that information comes back to me. Okay.
And that's good that the facilitators, man. All that, like God was saying, a good presentation. God, peace again, man, to you and the God divine for that. You know, please, you know. So,
whose phone? That's mine.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta get out of work tonight, God.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, if you need me any other time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got several classes I have to come to build on.
Yeah, absolutely. I got you. Yeah, definitely. That's what this class is open. We're open for that.
Yeah.
The purpose of empowering and teaching, God. You know what I mean? So you know, again, that was the whole. 120 definitely getting to know your lessons. but more so the whole dynamic.
Did you send it?
Yeah, the whole dynamic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. From that
And
foundation,
that was important.
it opens
Yeah.
up a dynamic that, or in-depth understanding that you can get into, or anybody can get into, just by dealing with that foundation right there alone. Now, if you want to be here to get into depth with that, I can do that. I can provide other information that goes with it.
Down the road.
It's your class.
Down the road. No, down the road.
See, that's why I was giving extra so he could write it down, because
Yeah.
these are the things that I learned. Not saying that they want us to write exactly, just that I grew up with that in my mind.
Right, and I don't have a problem
That's
teaching
how I
them.
got taught.
And like I said, a lot of people say law world manifest, law world manifest. There's, like I said, there's a degree in there that said, you know, living mathematics was kept preserved for the Son of Man to raise the mentally dead in this day and time. Because he asked the question, what would happen if any of these individuals, Caucasians they're talking about, is to try to indulge into the science of living mathematics. It wasn't kept preserved for them. It was kept for us. So that we become in tune with our nature and what we supposed to do. They can learn as 5%, as the guard just said, Mayor Lindsay, as real, and quite a few others. You can get 5%. I never said you could be God. I even have a problem a lot of times with the brother Justice. I don't know if y'all know him. Probably a lot. He's not an original man. I don't say God. That doesn't come out of my mouth. But a lot of us, because he be around us and he built like us, you know, automatically brothers say, please God. You know, I catch myself all the time. That's not going down like that.
I catch myself all the time.
But
all the time.
Hey God, but the other thing too is that like somebody said, well, I'm part, because one brother texted me some shit, I'm part Puerto Rican and this, and now a devil. I said, you half original. Where you see in your lessons where it said you're half original is a devil? He said, I don't. And I said, why you asking me some dumbass question like that?
Because he don't know
A
the
lot of
science.
people don't say it, yeah. Peace God, I'll be back next week.
Like I said,
Yeah,
why you
absolutely,
asking me a
absolutely.
dumbass question like that?
Stay in touch with me. You got my
Yeah.
number.
I got that one time.
Yeah.
Yo, look, we was standing on the
About
side,
161,
right?
right?
Brother said, yo, man,
161 around
that's a
there?
lot of sun right
All
there.
right.
I want
I'll
you
get
to
in touch with you. All right, true date. I don't care.
So, yo, we serving it.
Hey.
Yo, however they gassed me up, like, I'm telling you, you gotta go action.
My mother was white, and my father was black. Am I a devil?
They like, look, God, I mean, how you know?
Well, you talking like one.
Look,
Am I a devil?
what I'm saying, they
Nah,
saying
it's
we at the rally, we standing over by the bathroom, right? And the guy is standing in the front by the bottle. So I was like, yo, guys, that's a lot of sun right there. Like, word? How you know?
Who, you talking about Omalak?
Yeah. They said, I was like, how you know? I said, how you know? They said, look at him, guy, he look just like him, man.
No, that's what they
look,
started
so
saying.
look.
He looked just like Allah. I said, y'all trying to get me killed.
They got me gassed up, so I go over there and ask him, I'm like, yo, guy, you a lot of sun?
Oh, this when you first came around?
And I got that same answer he just got. Yo, why you ask me something dumb like that?
Did y'all ever see that little piece that Barry wrote about Umar brought, who he thought was the best and next to lead the nation was Umar?
Omalak, yeah.
Remember that?
I said, y'all trying to get me killed.
I don't know, but
What do you
my
think
thinking
happened to
it'd
me
be
if I'm
Umar.
born into the penal institutions? I think about all of that. But I don't let that get in the way of what I gotta do. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going up there where these people was at. And
Damn,
if they,
God.
you know, if they decide they want
you
to
look-
try some other stuff with
You
me.
look exactly like Allah.
When are y'all going back up there?
Hey, we're going to do this, the presentation.
Remember I said that from the school. Somebody
You
said,
and
I said, you trying to get me killed.
Yeah, take my team. But
I'ma dial your number right now, Law You Justice, to make sure that I got the right number.
okay. I'm gonna get my phone. Peace, God. Yes, definitely.
It's all right. So you in the team that you in the committee, coach and management team. Okay, good. All right, God. All
You
right.
send it to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna dial it right now.
Yeah, but you know, even in that region, God, the question comes up, you know, about, oh, well, you know, Because
You still had sons up?
well, I'm incarceration.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay. We'll put it in there.
And, you know, right. So now, you know, I mean, we've grown wise in our understanding and the way we speak. However, though, history best records with them. That's a question that'll be asked. That's why I'm glad. I mean, the wording is. I know you're more than capable because that's exactly where they go. Excuse me. Yeah. What do you mean? Or listen, your degree says who is the colored man. You know what I mean? So then, you know, like is that what you're designating me to be? You know what I mean? So you know, I got to be able to
Expound
on it. Right? Exactly. So
and I look at all that too.
Yeah. So you know, we've come a long way, especially even in that thing. That's why it's important. I'm glad that this presentation took place because maybe next week we'll do that too. Go into the time during that period when the knowledge came. Like God, I'm glad He did that. You know, because there were two major factors that were going on politically when the law came. You had the Voting Rights Act of 1964 and the Civil Rights Act of 1965. I mean, you weren't even allowed to fucking vote in the Civil Rights Act. So when the law came in the street, He's teaching and empowering
Peace,
us,
family. I
man.
gotta
Peace
go.
to God, man.
See y'all next week.
Peace, indeed, God. You know, so you know, and I was glad He did that. So that kind of encompassed, you know, a lot of what we were talking about because, you know, in this class, it's important. Like the God said, the rudiments. The rudiments is to know God. Like we're going back to the knowledge. Knowledge is power. In order to have the power, you got to know God. Know what? You got to first know your lessons, man. Like, see, I'm a natural graduate, you know what I mean? Remember? Before you be like, yo, but you know, God is one degree after another. Because, listen, God, they very well may ask you, what do you mean? What do you mean by actual facts? You say, you articulate yourself well, but we need specifically to know, do you know the rudiments of the very teachings, you know? So do you know? Right, over 634,000, what we mean by that is that know the land, know the value, whatever. But if you don't know that, well, I don't. Okay, well, what about Mount Everest? How fast is sound travel? Who was the original man? First, we're talking about how are you giving me understanding of some knowledge you have no knowledge of? You sound kind of, you know, you're obscure, you know, like, yeah, so you know, first things first.
Kind of suspect if you don't have no understanding
Right,
to the degrees.
Right, and that's why that's important. Now, in certain instances, you'll have like the guard, like in there, and even there, like even though the guard or the earth who's instructing the class, they may be at that certain level. I mean, being 1 to 10, but you're not staying there. Yeah. I think it's elevation. I don't use that word maintain. You go, how you doing maintaining? Nah, I'm elevating, man. I'm not maintaining. I'm not staying at this level. And I understand what the word maintain means, but we're talking about elevating. This is why I'm glad the guards who got the classes, everybody, listen, man, you can't get me on Saturday, go Tuesday. You can't go Tuesday, Thursday, Monday. Like, there should be no excuse.
All it took was one time for Darkim to put me on my square.
Okay.
That's all it took for me.
However, God, listen to this here. But God, He was already teaching the class. You came. Yeah, you came. Mm-hmm. And it was just that, you know, I asked someone taught the class, people, who are you? Where are you at? You know what I mean? Of course, we paying a visit to the mind. You know, there's, well, I know you use the word criticism. There's being wise. You know, I need to know where you are. Right, peace, God, peace, God.
No, but he woke me up when he told me, yo, stop using that as an excuse.
What's that? What would you
Because when I first came to his class, he asked me my name, and then he asked me what degrees you dealing with, and then I told him I was renewing my history, so he said, stop using that as an excuse.
Yeah, that's a question.
So that's like really when you don't really know your lessons, that you say, I'm renewing my history because you don't know all your lessons that you're supposed to know. So that's why I got on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get on it.
Yeah, because God, now, here's truly what renewing means. Renewing means that you know, right? So now I'm taking this to another level, right? It doesn't mean, all right, you know, oh yeah, God, where you at in your lessons, God, man? I'm truly, I'm at 110. We ain't gonna play no game. I'm at the 1 to 10, and I need to, I'm at the 1 to 10, and I just need to learn. I need to know my lessons. Because that's not renewing lessons. You know what I mean? I get it. It's a lot of times we like a crutch. And we hold on to that. And that's not how that should be. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I know for myself, like with the 1 to 36 and even Supreme Alphabet, like I have to like if somebody says a list, well, what's the 8th degree in 1 to 36? I might have to sit there and quote them to myself all the way to 8 or 17. I mean, some of them, like 28, I know that's in the orientation. Or 6, or likes the devil because the devil gives them nothing, but some of them.
Yeah, but that come with time.
I'll have to sit there and say,
that's when you know it at for sure.
I got you.
I know a lot of guys, most everybody can just call them off, right? Boom.
Okay, so my question is to you, God. Why can't you?
Well, I'm still working on that. I mean, that's all I can say about that. I'm still trying to get to that point.
Okay.
But I know that's my, with those lessons, 1 to 36, even the alphabet, which, you know 17 is queen. But sometimes I actually might have to go. Born, seed, line, story.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, God. The alphabets I know, but that's, what's good for that, God? Just study the 120 every day, and go from the student enrollment all the way to the 1 to 40, then actual facts and so on. As you keep just study it every day, because it's sometimes where I see myself like quoting the first degree in the 1 to 14, and I go to the 3rd degree because they sound so similar. But you gotta get it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get it. It's about practice. It's about practice. That's all it is. Practice. Practice make perfect.
The mathematics, God, is like, it is a math. So it's even instructing you like, okay, once your feet hit the floor, you've been blessed to be up. I mean, one of the easiest ways, because I could listen to the way you speak. You're an articulate and intelligent person. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say why I'm saying that, God. Let me cut right to the chase. Because there are some people, God, who there may be some cognitive disabilities. Like I'm kind of slow with drawing up words, and it takes me time. Okay, I get you. But if I know God, and I have the ability to know, right, then I have to make it my business. Right? So when I get on the floor, like, I don't worry about nothing. All that, why did Yaku make, listen, man, you better know how to quote this degree. First, okay, knowledge, wisdom, understand, you quote, you quotate the quotation. Right? So this way, and when you strengthen it, then it's there. What's 8? Okay, 8 also speaks about how much man the color man uses. Right? Okay, why is it the devil? The devil playing finger with your little boy. You know what I mean? Instead of going all the way back, because you may not have seconds to do that. God asking you a question, God, what's the 8th degree in 1 to 36? I don't have time to do that, God, because your answer might be the key to unlock the door to something. And in that time elapsing, then we're losing. So my suggestion would be, okay, bet, wherever I'm at, okay, let me strengthen. Like I'm at the 1 to 10 or 1 to 36. Like what degree do you know?
I know 120, but I know that's a real weakness.
But we're not gonna say we feel, because it's what do we know, what don't we know? So where are you at actually is my question.
I'll say 1 to 36. I'm trying to elevate the words you're trying to elevate to that point where I don't have to take that time to say my name is Douglas Muhammad, I came to North America. Start like a countdown.
So the mathematics, the alphabets, and the 1 to 10, you know. The mathematics, the alphabets, and the 1 to 10, you know that.
Right.
So where are you in the 1 to 36? Like what degree are you up to?
We don't mean just quoting from,
Yeah, like, I mean, like, what degree do you know without having to?
Equality. He likes the devil because the devil gives him nothing. Why does he like the devil? Because the devil playing fair. I mean, if somebody asked me the 6th degree, I know it right away. Or the 28th degree.
So what if I ask you the 12th degree? What's the 12th degree? Would you know?
Countdown again.
Yes, sir. That made him other than himself.
Oh yes, actually, I don't know if you sub was in that one. No, wisdom was just sub.
Yeah, we wisdom.
Yes, it's made other than himself. But yeah, God. But so my suggestion would be, if you're at the 136, can you adequately quote or know the 110? Do you know that? What's the 8th degree in 110?
How much useful land is used by the colored man?
Okay. What's the answer?
Colored man uses 6 million square miles.
Okay. Kind of. All right. Kind of. All right. Again, God, my suggestion would be to, okay, and once again, God, like I'm you know, like if you, actually you come Saturday, peace, come, but if you can't, if you open like on Tuesdays or Thursdays or, yeah, we here, God, but more importantly, getting them degrees on brain.
I'm out of the devil's system in terms of going to work. I'm a retired person now, so I got plenty of time. Time I didn't have 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay, well,
Come here.
you had time then.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to rush up to his class all the time.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but listen, God, look. Yeah, that's peace too. Yeah, thank you for closing the door. Yeah, I get that there's gonna be some things. Life's gonna happen, right? Work in school, and you're gonna have other things. You cramping, whatever. But more importantly, I mean, where I was given it, there was no excuses. Especially, and even for the people who got it from mouth to ear, like my big brother, Wise Jamel. I didn't even know that this man didn't have a serious education. Not from the way he spoke. I mean, Wise wasn't the man big on words, but he impeccably means he was able to quote these lessons, you know, and he was theatrical with his shit too. No, you know, yeah. Yeah, but and taught the class, but a lot taught him.
Class,
yeah,
mathematical builder.
Yeah, right. But a lot told him, and he went to school. He started going to school, but got even with all the hooks and crooks and mountains and rooftops he went through. You better whenever we saw each other, you better know your lessons, man. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying. He got it from mouth to ear. You're not trying to hear that. Or you're gonna have, you know. In fact, I remember Colleen told a brother. Try to say what this is. Not trying to sound insensitive. Man was going to a funeral. So God said, peace, God, you know, the problem is down the block. Yeah, God, I just came back from the funeral. Okay, God, peace to you, my condolences, but the problem is down the block. Because it should never stop you from coming engaging with your family. That doesn't mean, you know, we're not robotic with it. You know, social equality. Like we just talking about earlier. You know, we deal with signs of everything in life, man. So let me come build with my brothers, man. One of the worst things you want to do is be by yourself and brood. In fact, because when you breaking bread and building with your brother, right? You got, oh shit, okay, man, peace, God, you know, and then you get to seeing and understanding things then, instead of being away. A lot of times being away is what gets us also, and being away from studying. I get you saying you retired. What was you doing before?
Security in schools.
Okay. Yeah, well, you was around the libraries and all that.
And the babies.
Yeah. All that. So there's no. I mean, I get what you're saying, God. So I mean, you know, what I'm telling you is just take the opportunity, you know, to just get it, you know, word for word. You know, so this way, you know, I mean, you're at the 110. You know, I mean, you get up to where you at, and then just elevate.
So
we go. We're done.
There's officially no social for Allah, right?
Social.
The Lord's born day social.
Oh yeah, we need to do. I ain't gonna say. I ain't gonna sit here and say that. But no one's bumped. No one said nothing yet.
They were saying something might be in Medina. I heard something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I mean, nobody.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Nikita
right around the
Walker.
corner.
Yeah, I haven't so far.
Okay, hold on.
I don't have any word that there's gonna be a social.
Hold on. Let me get
Life wanted you to know, right, that you know when you got the flag, right, even if it's a picture of the flag, like you got on your hat right there, right. See, it's important that you win that flag from within. You understand what I'm saying? Because see, if you just got it on and you don't know what you're supposed to know, then you just win to be down with us. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't like a thing where, you know, you get a red rag or a blue rag, you know what I'm saying, and you down. See, like even this what we was dealing with today, that's what a lot of you justices are talking about. That when he goes in there, we start to separate, you understand what I'm saying, the best part from the poor part. You see what I'm saying? By going in there and seeing who really know what they supposed to know. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, you know, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, we wearing it, you know, we wear polo. You know what I'm saying? That's for a status symbol, it's for something else. But you're not really down with polo. You understand what I'm saying? You're not really a part of that cycle. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, always beware, especially when you start wearing all this other fashion and stuff. Jewelry, you understand what I'm saying? T-shirts and all that stuff, where you might think this is less than the flag, but you're still supposed to be who you are, though. You understand what I'm saying?
Facts.
I'm on the airwaves now, trying to see your question.
Yeah, Nikita, we trying to see if anybody made any statements yet.
Okay, Born Justice ain't answered his phone. Yeah, I seen something in Medina. But yeah.
Yeah, I heard it was something they was thinking about in the Akbar school. But other than that, yeah. And like you said, it's around the corner, so
Yeah.
Umar said he was gonna try to do something, but it was too late. He couldn't get the
134?
Yeah, he couldn't get it.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a real important issue that the God touched about, you know what I'm saying? Like 1 week we wanna be over here God with God cipher, you know, and then next week you wanna be blood, you know what I'm saying? So to separate that, you know what I'm saying, because that could bring negative to what he's trying to do. He's trying to make a movement really to help brothers out, so when they come, you know, they have a better way to go to deal when they come out here in society. That's a real positive move what he's trying to do.
Well, we're doing that. I'm dealing with that bill. We're dealing with that, and I'm glad God coming. Now you got God's actually coming in, facilitating that. We just want to build with the God, not to get on the God, but that was the peace bill. Because even without the universal flag, we got to know. I'm gonna tie it in together. We have to know, right? Because here's a question I always ask. Let me ask you this question: is there any error on that flag? In the universal flag?
Error?
Error. You know what an error is, right?
Mistake.
Right. Is there any mistakes in that flag?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay. No?
No.
Okay. Then you're correct. Then that also means that the bearer of the flag, there should be no mistake in their representation. Meaning that, okay, I may not know 120, but I got to know my lessons, like the word God was used was operate. Operate in this case, man, I know how to move the culture of our God. And by knowing that, I got to understand the rudiments. You know what I mean? Because I'm teaching, I'm living in the code, right? And then on top of that, wearing the flag is a powerful statement, right? No disrespect to other street organizations, but they're said. Said means something questionable. There is no said birth recognition of Islam in the born degree, right? But there is birth records of said nations, because Buddhism was started by people, original black people, who were exiled from not going according to the knowledge and wisdom. So you were sent to another land Most of your, God, truth be told, most of your pyramids and the interior of Asia, so-called Africa, was started by people who were exiled from the root. And you started saying, let me take this knowledge and wisdom and take it and build this civilization, right? So my point is this here. My point is, the knowledge and wisdom need to be intact. It's rudiments that the God did, like, well, knowledge is the accumulation of facts. In order to get, I got to look, listen, and observe. So if I'm doing that, then I'm looking, listening. So as I navigate, because I remember God, and it's still, I don't know, like I know it's a little lackluster. Peace, God. Peace. Peace. God, we see you guys. Don't say peace again one more time.
Power and quality of law, see everything.
Yeah. So it's my big brother Penal. So, but we're in that. You know what I mean, God? That's I remember I was coming up, and I'm sure I remember God when he was coming up. Like you wore that flag, you knew, okay, oh shit, I know he went through some labor with that. I don't care what about none. We was taught how you giving it, and you sweated to get that. It wasn't given like the God was saying, like Skittles. You know what I mean? You sat down and I got you guys. I see your hand. I got you.
If a brother had a flag on, he was like, yeah.
You want a flag? This is how it went. You want a flag? Okay, we meet at Darkim house tomorrow. All right, bet. Have a seat. Have a seat. What you mean? Have a seat, God. We ain't playing. What's your name? First, your name what? My name's Coach so. Yeah, whatever. Okay, bet. And then give me at least a working knowledge of this flag. Right? We ain't got to give me universal shame God's definition, but give me the working knowledge of the flag. Do you know your lessons? Yeah, how well? And it can't be no other mother stuttering. Once we know you understood the dynamics of the name, your lessons, right? Then we got into the flag. So when you received that, you knew. So now when you went out navigating through the world, right? Like this. Because wisdom is the vehicle that knowledge travels in. So when you move the body, people knew, he went to fly. God, you knew. Peace. I knew when I said that shit, I knew the reply, it was going to be great. There was no, peace, God, yeah, my name's Frank. And what? There was none of that. You knew you was like, yeah, what degree you on? And even if you was on, God, the 1 to 36, and the word impeccable was important with us, God. You had to know that. It could be no other mother stuttering. It could be no other mother stuttering. So this is why that's important. And then the bearer of the flag, what I'm doing it can't be no, this is why he was told us, man, God, if you gonna throw a brick, take that flag off. If you gonna do something that's not right and exact, don't wear that flag, God. Don't come in the name with that bullshit. You know what I mean? Now listen to this one, God. Here's something that the underlying you might out of court, even if you don't wear, I go to the store, I'm going, let me get that Versace shirt and them gators. The universal flag is within. So I still got to represent. You know what I mean? And let me get clear with this note. I told the guards, like, when you watch Jerry Springer, when you watch Maury, and you watch, and I hear these names, of course, it's like, oh, look at he naming them son Shaquem and Daquan and look at them. Why you fucking in it? No, but just one God. Let me say this to you. In some instances, right, when God went to 85% went to bed with this woman, 85% man went to bed with this woman, and she woke up, she was still at 85. But when God went to bed with her, even though we may not stay. Here's some things I'm gonna need you to understand. What? Don't eat no pork, right? If you do have a seed, a good name is better than gold. Darkim, son, Allah Shah. Give him that name, and here's some instructions with that. Now we know that the point of reference they may not, but that's God influence. Right? This Daquan. Ain't no Muslim named Daquan. Ain't no Muslim named Shaquem. A kill and all that. Come on, man. That's us. We show you the influence even in those circles. You know what I mean? So, you know, I just needed to say that, but yeah, the story, you had your hand, I apologize, God, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was getting back to the.
Would you get back to,
the day there was me and you here, that it started snowing, that it was just me and you here, and then the major God came.
Oh yeah, the God,
remember?
Yeah, the name is major, minor.
So major, minor, and then what took place there was that he wanted to purchase a hat with a universal flag.
Yeah, he wanted a hat. Yeah.
So what happened was that the God, what was his name? Shaheen? Kaheen.
So
He just said, all right, God, so you want to purchase the flag? What this mean? What that mean? And then I started questioning him too, Darkim, because that's the first time that I ever hear somebody say, my name is Major God. So I said, I'm not even gonna go in no word somatic with you, God. What are you talking about? He was talking about, he wasn't like, this God went to sleep, the other God went to sleep.
So
that was
what happened?
crazy.
What happened pretty much? He I get his storyline. It wasn't us though. Intelligent brother, but he come in, and most likely God gave his point or origin reference, but you coming in like, I specifically know my lessons, I want the flag and whatever, but you don't know this sign. First of all, what's your name? My name is so-and-so Major.
Major God.
Major God. What do you mean by major? What do you mean by that, God? That's not us. And then by deciphering the name, you know, he wasn't he wasn't
speaking
sense.
the language.
Yeah, so then we help him connect the dots, right, and sent him on his way, right? But you coming in, you got to be able to see. But then again, it comes back to the knowledge, because people go to come to you. Yeah, peace, man. My name is my name is Solar Energy. God. So you went for Con Ed, you went like, you know what I mean? You know, yeah. You know what I mean? Then you just want to pay a visit to the mind of the person. Yeah. But yeah, next week though, God, we try to get into the history also, God, with the science also, man, and like God was going through and the connection. But yeah, God, you got lessons at your rest?
No, I'm not.
Omaha? Okay. Yeah, so God, like
Hold on. Born Justice.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, he called your phone, huh?
Yeah, because he said he was calling yours and he didn't answer.
Okay, yeah, I was doing peace, God. Yeah, no good. Yeah, I'm at the school, but the question was, man, like what social was taking place for Allah this month? Do you know? I mean, okay. What? All right. So what was that? That was supposed to have taken place in Mecca or something? Okay. All right. Because the only thing I'm hearing, I know Darkim was too, was something about somewhere being Medina. Someone was supposed to be doing something, but I don't know what. So we were, because people are asking.
That's why I hate women that coat, man.
Yeah, I see some earthly embrace, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Cook.
It's rabid.
Okay. All right, okay, God. All right, that's why I was asking. All right, peace.
That's why I had it.
Yeah,
got you, like for 5 years. And I wore like 3 times on it. Yeah, because all the furs get on you. Yeah, I bought it right there on right here on 25th, yeah. So that's it, the class is over?
Well, it's the last shots day, huh?
Yeah, he's going just the same, man. He wasn't saying nothing either, because he was saying they supposed to be doing, they did something, and that didn't go well. So I ain't going there. But he said something about earthly embrace, supposed to be doing something. I don't know, I got.
On Livonia?
I don't know. That might be the Akbar spot in the school. But I'll call her and find out like what's up.
Yeah.
He said he was calling me, but I didn't have my earpiece on.
But they're gonna have a rally over there?
No, they the father social, when was the father born?
February 22nd.
Okay. So that's when, and he called me like 3 times, or somebody was calling me. Let me see. Yeah, so we usually have social, so that's the question that was being asked.
Okay.
Born Justice, he was calling me. Okay. Alright, so alright guys, so pretty much, man, hold nobody hostage, man. So.
Yeah, that's good, girl. I try to find out because I would like to go.
Yeah. I mean, normally, that's like that months in advance we've been on. Yeah. So now, that was a good question because I totally took
Took it for granted.
Yeah, right. So then now,
like when they first said it, I say, look, I gotta talk to Be Allah man. I'm gonna get right back to you.
Yeah, now in fact, I know Tishon, the born black, is going. I'm gonna have born Be Allah man, slick ass mouth. Hold up. Yeah, you got what you mean, my man. The brother social eating up, man.
I never met that brother on Father Divine.
I was just gonna ask about it.
Wow.
He used to didn't he used to take care of it?
Yeah, no, well he had Medina.
Right.
He used to do it in school.
He used to have Medina. It was Akbar first, right?
No. Well, the school is named after the God who, Akbar.
He returned back to the essence?
Yeah.
He secured the property and founded the school there.
Yeah.
Divine was something else, brother. Like him, man.
Yeah, Fakim, like he called himself.
Fakim, yeah.
Fakim Allah, yeah. I need a charger. You got a charger on?
No. That's why.
Hey, please, black man, silence.
I want to meet him,
Hey, you got a question, man, because, little haphazard thing going on here. So, because they're not doing nothing in Medina with the social. Like, what, you ever think about the father social? Anything supposed to be happening with that?
Fixes up there somewhere. Maybe outside or something.
Yeah, when we're talking about 134th Street, but he couldn't get it, the spot. What school? Oh, the Lord?
I think it was in June.
I don't know. But I'm just asking because people are inquiring now, so.
The old man, he be having the cane, not him.
Yeah, they messed that package up too, I think.
I don't think it's him. He's the one he told me.
Yeah, I think they messed that package up too, man. Yeah. That's why I said, man, let me call you, man.
If I came to short.
Nah.
That's good.
Yeah, I know. We've been doing the social.
He ain't tall.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. And in fact, we go back to that bill too. Yeah, that's real because we don't agree. We haven't done. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Snow?
Right. Yeah, they made, yeah. Wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, okay, no question. Yeah. All right, God, I'm there with you. Peace, yeah, that's true. Though. You make a good statement. Because normally we do this. Like we usually work by 134th Street. There's right next to the school. We used to use that. Sometimes we couldn't get the school here right on that block. But there's a church and down there, it's a big basement. We used to rent, which was adequate enough. But what we do, then there were times we've done. I think last week we did it for free. Just come, it was a free one. Just come. Yeah, right. But what happens is if people got so used to doing that, like no one picks up the mantle, so now things happen. You know what I mean? This one doing this, one doing that. And when you got, you're not doing nothing, you pick up, So, so be our man, hold on. Big God. Okay. mean, well, I guess we got, make a quick brainstorm and, you gotta provide no transportation, they go come, right? Oh, you mean to get tickets or something, or to come in or something? You gotta pay to get in, okay, right. Well, pay at the door then. You pay at the door. That you gonna come up with some tickets real quick, but then you gotta let the people know it's gonna be in Mount Vernon. You know what I mean? Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah, I know. Like we in Israel some fucking way. Yeah. Stupid. But yeah, guys, it is what it is, man. I mean, yeah. I'm heading to school, guys. Let me build you after this here, though. What cookout? Cookout on Saturday. When? Oh, okay. That's amen. That's down the road. We can. Yeah. That's not God. We can. That's June. Shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. We come up with something like that.
You want justice?
No, talking about the school. I mean the cookout for June. Yeah.
Philly?
Yeah, okay, God. Peace. Yeah, he said he might do something there now. Do something.
What about Kenzie?
Yeah, do something in Mount Vernon, yeah.
You're not gonna, that's all right.
Huh?
And I could do the whole 136 from 1 to
Okay, no problem.
Just get to that point.
You have to
Yeah.
tell me, man.
What's the 19th?
Right.
Okay.
Just put that, it's my weak spot. I gotta improve on that.
I'm still inside. I'm
Push
still,
ups, get the
I'm in
body
school.
going good.
Okay. You guys should make
Gotta
a
get the
good
136 going. What's your
Yeah, it's just, so this way, man, you can.
Speak now for the whole
Yeah, I know you have knowledge, though, God.
just the lessons, just about knowledge for years.
Huh?
Just in terms of the 5% about 10 years. I started coming here about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know you was telling me about it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about here, but not. I'm talking about where you was at before.
2008.
Okay. All right. So you're not a little bit there, man.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, a little
See,
bit.
life made a little statement right here. He said, so is somebody gonna tell that brother to take that hat off? We can't allow these things to continue regardless to whom or what. We gotta weed out the BS for real, so he and other takes it serious, no excuses.
What life is that?
This life from Queens that KFC killed in ours.
Yeah, I killed him.
Yeah. You know how you see it.
I'm taking the hell off.
You gotta listen, man. Shit, in that case, man, you got a whole lot of people that take some shit on tape. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not, yeah, I'm not,
if you
yeah.
can prove it and you know what that means, and you got a basic understanding of that, God, don't let nobody chastise you, God. As long as you know and you can prove it, you know the degrees and the star,
He doesn't though.
So, but if you don't know, then that's the problem. Yeah, you gotta know, what the 7 is, what the moon is.
You have at least a basic knowledge of what the flag is you wearing. But God right though, I'm not gonna sit here and discount what he's saying either. Because that rule of thumb is important. Do you?
Original black man, woman, and child. 7 is God. Black man, the moon is the earth, the woman, star is the child. Gold is we never received. Black is us, the original man. Black is 360 degrees, 45 degrees.
You hear what Darkim, so Darkim gonna give it to you. What's that?
Look, next time you see allow you justice, ask him for that
breakdown of the flag
that he had. Because you gotta remember, man, see when you got that on, you a teacher. You saying you qualified to teach. You see what I'm saying? And when you qualified to teach in this nation, you qualified to teach everybody. You know what I mean? And that includes kids. And when you teaching kids, you gotta be exact. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You
Some of that was right, right?
Huh?
Some of what I said.
Nah. When you out here teaching kids, like look, that's the whole point of what we was doing here all day. His brothers is saying that look, we gotta get this knowledge right in all aspects. You understand what I'm saying? Now how we gonna tell them out there to get right if we ain't right in here? See, that's what makes you have a hard time in your teaching. See, you have a hard time in your teaching because you ain't civilized yourself. And when people can't look at you and see that civilization, you know what I'm saying? If they hear your wisdom and it's not dynamic, then what's gonna make them say, okay, this the best part that I want to preserve for myself. You see what I'm saying? So like the brother said, man, you know.
You leave and I'm gonna build with you on that flag. You know what I'm saying? So you can have a little more clarity on that, you know, because if somebody run up on some serious stuff, man, it's gonna be a situation, you know what I'm saying? And you don't wanna go through that.
It's not just that, man, but you want to go out there
and represent, right?
Yeah, you want to be a teacher, you want to be an asset. See, that's what the 5% is. See, if you want to be a 5%, right, it's nothing that I can really do for you. I can teach you what I know, but you got to be a 5% by going out there and teaching. You understand what I'm saying? And you can't go out there and teach if you're not qualified to teach yourself. If you don't know what you're supposed to know, then you're showing that you're not qualified to teach yourself.
Peace, Lord. I see you Tuesday.
No doubt.
Peace.
All right?
All right, peace.
You sure you didn't leave nothing, Kareem?
Listen, I don't have to. Come on.
Sir R.E. Newton said, is anybody in the Charleston, South Carolina area? There was a brother that just came up here to get, he got his lessons on Tuesday, but he's in Columbia.
Yeah, Hashim is over there too, isn't he?
Hashim?
Yeah, Hashim. Yeah, the guy Hashim is in South Carolina. Forgot what part of South Carolina he's in. Yeah, I'd have to get back to the God. Forgot what part with South Carolina he's in. Then you got, what's it, the God Dawood over there. You got a few people over there in South Carolina. This is what part? I'm not sure. So these people that are talking, they can see through the phone.
Yeah, they can see, and they chat right here.
Oh, peace to them, man. Okay, that's the technology. My mother, father, boy, I swear.
I got this thing. I got to just hook it up to where. In fact, that's what Unique was just telling me that I need to start using because they got the Wi-Fi and all that.
Yeah.
To hook up where they can talk.
Oh yeah, like a teleconference. So yeah.
So like the people, they can ask their own question.
Yeah, the P's. This is the face to the question. Right. Yeah. Okay, that's peace. Yeah. The God life is right though. He right too. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. You ran even to this day and time. You can't be, I'm going through jails and mountains. Yeah, but God, like, you ran the flag and, This is bad for me, bro.
So I'm gonna let y'all get this. Did y'all get that question off in there? Sir Newton, your best bet is to come on the lives. Come on the next live. What time is it? It's 4 o'clock right now. Right. Go on the look in the links and join the pages. The large fruit Instagram / a large fruit. Join that page and come on the lives later. When you come on the lives, we'll be able to find somebody that's not far from you. But right now, y'all, I'm getting ready to sign off. So I can come back on later. Peace to all the guys, all the earths out there. The Muslim brothers, the Moorish brothers and sisters. Everybody else that come through and say peace to the guys. And that's just another little installment about, some very progressive things that we got going on over here. Peace.